Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name is David Turner. I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
Sean Bell.
Hello.
James Farley.
Hello.
I'm going to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers because my word, we need to thank them. They went full Nels. They've supported the show so much. You keep us going, and legitimately, you're the reason why I'm going to be reviewing Forspoken next week. Is that the name of the game?
Forspoken. Yeah. I don't think it's a real word, to be fair, so I don't feel stupid for not remembering or getting it wrong. I don't think it's real.
That's the only way to get a domain name.
It's annoying, isn't it?
Social handles. I'm making up a word.
But legitimately, I would not be reviewing. Right, the only reason I'm reviewing that game next week is because I've got nothing to play, and there's nothing I really want to play or whatever. And that's a big game that's coming out on PlayStation. And I thought, well, we got the Patreon money. I'm going to buy it so that I don't have to send clips of us to the PR company.
I've just looked on dictionary.com.
It is a word, yeah.
Well, there's not on dictionary.com, it isn't. There are no results for Forspoken.
According to the Collins Dictionary,
there is.
Oh,
yeah. Fuck.
Who goes to the Collins Dictionary? Isn't it the Oxford?
Google is what Google came up with first.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay. Well, we would like to thank our Patreon producers for this month. They are Full Nels, Aaron Patrick, the QuickBooks chap, Simon Nelson, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Trans Rights are Human Rights, Dave Ernsberger, Colin Brown, Gazman, Rocketman76, Grey Dragon Claw, Fred Fenge, Smooth Monkey, Don Whiskerando, Colin Smith, Richard Sawyer, Tom S, John Tempelli, Jackie Sniper, Gordon Garrow, Safe as Records. Whoa, got a rare doodah right there. There was Nose Jam crossed out for some reason, but I dig that.
Yeah, there used to be Nose Jam before.
Right, okay. Sam Higton, Don Johnston, Max Watkins, Laser Quest, and a new Full Nels is Freelance Police.
Hey.
Full Nels. Problem is, Freelance. Oh, do we talk about Freelance Police works for someone now within video games? Does that mean we can't review their games now? That a conflict of interest?
I don't know. I mean, we're going to like whatever they make next, right? Probably.
Yeah, because they've given us money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Can we do that whole thing? Can we do that whole thing they always do on these things where we just keep saying full disclosure and then we have to like just keep
saying... God, yeah. I mean, we're going to talk about this on the bonus show this week because we're recording that this week. But myself, Matt, and James are listening to old one-up episodes from 2006, and I listened to one the other day where it was like they were praising a game for 20 minutes, and one of them goes, "Yeah, full disclosure, my girlfriend works for that company. She's like heavily involved." It was less of an issue back then. It really was.
Different times.
Of course, Marvel Calls, big episode for the Patreon subscribers at the £4.50 tier as well, because this week's episode that you get a week early is Spider-Man No Way Home. One of my favourites that we recorded, James. It was quite an episode, that one. So look forward to that. You could go and support us by going to patreon.com/TCGS if you'd like to support what we do. It really is appreciated. We are independent. Yeah?
We are.
We ain't run by your IGNs.
No.
We're not run by your GameSpots. No. We are Indo. So please.
Independo.
We are so independent, baby.
Tell you what, I am looking forward to our first bonus show of the year. It feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to bonus show this week. So you got that to come. That's enough feedback from last week's show. I'm assuming they all loved it, Matt.
Oh, absolutely, David. I mean, imagine if they didn't.
I'll be furious if they didn't.
It'd be very rude.
We're going to start with Saul Small. Hey guys, long time lurker here, but I thought I'd write in to say how much I enjoyed watching James and Dave playing through Granny's Garden. What a blast from the past. My dad was a teacher when I was younger. He taught programming on the BBC Micro using those clear perspex turtles that you could draw with on the floor. He used to bring home educational games from school that I could play at home. The company that made Granny's Garden, Formation, 100% made the best educational games. The other ones by them Dad had were Dragon World and Flowers of Crystal. I'd love to see Dave and James dig into Dragon World. I think they have a grand old time. Anyway, the pod is amazing. Keep up the good work, yo. Love yous. Right,
let's do Dragon World. I've never heard of that.
Sounds good.
I've never heard of that either.
I remember the ones with the currents that you used to play. I've mentioned it before on the pod. I can't remember what it was called, but there was like an educational side-scrolling puzzle game that was I think they were currants or grapes or something like that, and you controlled them, or figs. I'm just naming different fruits or whatever. But now, when you were growing up and you found out one of the kids at your school had a teacher that also was a parent,
Right.
did you feel sorry for them, or were you just like, keep away from them?
I don't think
they
it
might
ever
grass you
happened
up.
to me.
You didn't. You didn't have someone that's, because you were one of these kids, weren't you, James?
I was, yeah, because my dad was a headmaster.
Oh God, yeah.
But then it was
At your
but it was
school?
fine. No, not my school. No,
Oh,
that's the
not
thing.
it.
My parents always sent me to completely different schools to wherever he was teaching, because it was
Right.
like it doesn't work otherwise. It's
Also, he was sick of you at home.
well, yeah.
This might be completely unfair and maybe not the sort of thing you want to get into on the normal show. For some reason, my assumption is like when someone says, "Oh, my dad's a head teacher," I assume that their parenting was like 20 years behind everyone else's, and I don't know why that is.
Well, let's wait for the bonus show and find out.
Fine, sorry.
Okay, James, fine, but you got to answer this, right?
Go on.
So, did he used to go to your parents' evenings?
He did, and it
That
was
was-
a bloody nightmare.
Really? Because he would go, well, that's not on the curriculum.
No, he. Okay.
Oh my God.
Should I talk about this? I'm not sure. I
Yeah,
should
go on,
talk about
just
this.
briefly, you'll be right.
Well, when I was at secondary school, the worst thing about this was that because my dad was like in the business, as it were, of education.
In the biz.
Whenever it was like, parents' evening, he'd show up and he just felt like he didn't have to follow any of the rules of like the whole thing. So he'd like walk in, and you're supposed to in our school you had to sign a register to say that you've been there, right? He'd just walk in. I'm not going to sign a register. I don't need to do that. It's no need. And then so he
what was the logic there?
I don't know. He just couldn't be bothered. And then you could see where.
David, I'll tell you what his signature was. It was his face. He's like, "There's my signature."
Wait, hold on. Murray, Matt.
Murray.
I called you Murray then.
Murray.
Never called you
Present.
that. Matt, did I hear that right? Did James say a Farley couldn't be bothered to do something?
I know. It's what I'm saying. It's like it's.
Wild. That's a
Where does he
wild
get it from?
concept.
But he used to do that, and then he'd also just because also we had to spend all this time creating appointments for our parents to say, "Oh, you've got to go and see this guy at this time, this guy at this time," and he just wouldn't bother going to like different ones, if he didn't feel like it. And then the trouble was then the next day I get a bollocking, because they'd be like, "Your dad didn't even come, did he?" And I was like, "He did. He just went there. He just didn't want to be bothered.
Just didn't sign the register either.
Didn't want to be bothered. Well, I'm quite big in the teaching world, and everyone wants a selfie. Back here in the 1970s,
It was a bloody
everyone wants
nightmare.
a selfie.
It was a nightmare. It was not good.
Shame. All right, well, more of that on the bonus show next. Bit of feedback,
but yeah, I think you should seek out Dragon World and Flowers of Christmas.
Zombinis, was that what they were called? Zombini, go on.
What? Are you okay?
Logical
I'm
Journey
thinking
of the
of
No.
Zoom beanies.
Zoom beanies.
That what were they
Yeah,
grapes?
I remember
I have
that.
mentioned this before. Oh, they look like grapes. Yeah. Oh man, we got to do some Zumbinis.
Did you ever
maths
play
journey.
Ollie's Draw a Story?
Nope.
That was fantastic. There was this one of the sort of mini games where basically it was like, oh, let's send a letter to Orly, who's this little girl, and you basically draw something in this like rubbish sort of MS Paint type thing, and then it would show a little animation where she like receives your letter and opens it up and goes like, oh wow, and then holds it up and it's got your
dear.
So obviously we drew horrible things, didn't we?
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
It's hilarious when you're 12.
It's hilarious when you're 30.
Probably still pretty fun. I might do it.
Yeah, we're playing Zumbinis on stream, James. That's a must. That is a
I
must.
don't know if Zumbinis came to our school. The biggest thing we played on the one school computer we had was Lemmings. Me and my mate Martin Day played that at lunchtime and after
That's
school.
not exactly the most
Martin Day.
educational thing.
It wasn't, but it was bloody good.
Okay.
Yes. Stu, SMW, I would like to offer an apology on behalf of all Stuarts. Stu, who messaged in last week, does not represent us and is probably secretly called John or Steve, our main enemies. I have consulted with the other Stuarts who have unanimously decided that we enjoy the office jokes. Kind regards, SMW.
This is the guy Stu that emailed us last week and was like, I love the show. Yeah, really good. Keep up the good work. Yeah. Stop talking about the office. It's embarrassing. It's like, really hurt my feelings, that did, Stu. Like, if you're listening. We should probably not now. Yeah, no. I think we put him off now.
Yeah. Keith Monahan. Recommendation from Matt Murray. An app that helps in motivation for getting out on longer runs that has story and gaming elements. Zombies Run is the game. The idea is it has an audiobook style story, plays in the
I've heard
background,
of this.
which sends you out on missions, usually to pick up certain supplies. Every so often, it will alert you that zombies are chasing you. I'm out. And you have to pick up your running pace to outrun them. This can happen at inconvenient times. Look before crossing a road. If they catch up with you, then you will lose some of the supplies you've collected. Your music playlist is played in between the story bits, and missions can last around 20 minutes. Supplies that you have retained are then used to build a base in the app that you need to upgrade. Season 1 is free, and it looks like the developers have added new story themes now as well. I've re-downloaded it again to help me get motivated. I've given you a follow on Strava. Well, thank you, Keith.
I hated Strava, so we had to download Strava for a work thing we were doing, right? And I fucking hated it. It's just like, here's where I run. I don't want you to know where. Am I like?
Stop tracking me.
I don't care about like cookies or anything like that. You know, I don't really care about any of that stuff.
Just clear the cookies.
Yeah, I don't really care about anything like that. And I'm kind of like, oh, do you know they're selling your data? Oh, my data's a bit boring, mate. Probably, you know what I mean? I just go to the same websites and stuff every day, right? But for some reason, the whole tracking thing, I don't like. And Strava was part of that. That really put me on edge. And Joe several times has said, can we just do the Find My Friend thing? Can we just do that? Have that set up on each other's phone? And I'm like, no, absolutely not. You're not having that on my phone. No, I'm not. She's like, why? All you do is go from work to here. I said, yeah, but I just don't like the look. I just don't like the idea that you can pick up your phone and go, there he is.
Yeah.
Ugh. Makes me feel sick.
My mum was really weird. Do you remember when Google Latitude was a thing?
What's that?
It was the same thing, basically. You'd have your friends list on it, and like you could just see where they were whenever. Right. And it was like, yeah, it's like I did my mum on it, and then like every few days she'd be like, "Oh, how was Manchester?"
Oh mate,
I saw you were there, and she. I don't think she was trying to be creepy, but it was
just interest.
Yeah, she's just interested, but it was
have either of you got that? So I know you have, James.
Yeah, we use it. Yeah, because it's. I mean, yeah, I use it especially for Rachel because she's got like a phone now as well. So if she goes out, it's handy to know where she is. You know, I mean,
I know where I am. Which is usually at work, but still, it's like
this email though. Like every time I looked at it, I just keep on seeing Matt Murray an app, and I'm just thinking that'd be amazing, like a Matt Murray app.
Matt Murray app. What would it do?
Well, like a soundboard or something more involved.
Would it just tell you consistently how good the music is in various video games that he's playing?
Yeah, that sounds like a good app actually.
It'd be useful.
Yeah, what would a Matt Murray app do, James? You can't just stop there.
I don't know. That was the thing I was thinking about it. I mean, I was thinking maybe I could tie it into the website I built for mattmurray.com, but I don't know.
Is it an AI Matt Murray like those ones people keep posting on Twitter, and I don't know where they're getting them from, the little conversations with like the Queen and stuff?
I think it could be like an AR sort of thing, couldn't it? Where it's like you can put Matt in any situation.
Oh, you see Matt just he's just in the room.
What does Matt look like in your front room?
Exactly, yeah.
You just set him up and he's
I'd like that. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, actually. Get that done.
I should say, I really nice to see that Zombies Run is still a thing, because I used this back, like, pretty sure when I first got an iPhone. Like, so it's been going a long time.
You weren't using the iPint? Pretending to drink a beer.
No.
The lightsaber one.
No. It was that, and it was the Flickster app. That was like the thing to show people. Like, look, this is the fucking future. Wherever I am, I can open this, and it tells me where the nearest cinema is and what films are on.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That and the fart apps. There was loads of fart apps.
The fart apps were good, weren't they, James?
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
very good fun. We all had fun with that, didn't we?
Anyway, the beer ones. Drinking a little beer.
Already referenced that, Matt. Just pay attention.
Sorry, my audio just cut out. And
Did it? All right.
My mic did as well, but I think I'll be able to fix it in post.
Say the lightsaber one next.
The lightsaber one?
Yeah, no, I've already referenced it, Matt. So, go on.
Yeah, I'm having technical issues here. Anyway, Geen, I'm here to defend James. The original Game Boy came with a link cable, earbuds, and Tetris, at least at the US launch in 1989. At that time, there was only one SKU, the core SKU. There was only that was the hardware. That was the only hardware that didn't come to market until a year or two later.
There you go, James.
True.
It was right, breaking Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
You were right.
Well, I mean, he was talking about America, so I don't think it counts.
No,
I
it
think-
was the same
I
year.
think-
Stop fucking around.
I'm
Sean.
just
This was
saying,
true.
James hasn't done his own research still. And he's offered no proof.
When I go back to the UK,
That's a good point.
I'll get up in the loft and I'll find my
No, but that
original
doesn't
Game Boy
prove
box.
It
anything.
doesn't prove anything,
It
James.
does,
I mean,
because the original box I've got will have the list on what's on it.
yeah,
Yeah, but
no.
we don't know the circumstances under which you got it. It could be one of several SKUs. It could
I
be
got
the
it
posh
for my
one.
birthday. I got it for my birthday along with I saved up money so that I could buy Batman and Super Mario Land. So there you go.
So, Sean, I mean, clearly he was right. I think, I've seen enough
I know, but
evidence
we
to
make him
say
work
that
for it.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, because he did fuck all to defend himself there. But
Didn't have to. It's just the truth, isn't it?
isn't it mad that came with that cable?
It is. It's very
It's really
unusual.
weird, right?
We've got this new hardware. We don't really know if it's going to take off or not. Let's force you to buy all the accessories with it. Seems like a strange way of doing business, doesn't it?
They also, because they had a 4-way one as well, like a 4-way link cable. Yeah.
Blimey.
But that came with, it was F1 race. It was like you had to buy it with that, and it had like this little thing that had like four
All right, thanks for
things.
the technical information. What I find weird about it is that you and your brother get your Game Boy on Christmas morning, and you go, "Oh, we could do the iLink thing. We've needlessly got 2 iLink cables. You only need one for every 2 consoles, didn't you? So it's a bit weird that they
I
go
mean,
away
I think
for
they
everything.
probably cost pennies, so I don't think they were really that bothered.
All right, mate, that's
Why
presumptuous.
not leave it in the box?
Okay, all right.
Warner.
I'll tell you why. Because of the one little thing, Matt, that I like to think of called the environment.
It was,
sure
it
back
was
in
the
those
late
days-
80s. No one cared.
Yeah,
Everyone's
everyone's
gonna
burning
live forever
tires
then.
and spraying deodorant in the air.
Yeah,
Some of us
CFC
did.
gases everywhere. You know,
No,
loving it.
some of us did. Some of us did. Go on.
The whole ozone layer has been much sealed up now, hasn't it? So
It's apparently we've got
Okay.
about 20 years and it'll be fully done.
Well, the thing is, though, but the global warming is a thing, so can't we just open it up a little bit more and let a bit of air in?
Let it out. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
big balloon. Just
Get a little bit cold air. It's cold out in space, isn't it? Let a little bit of cold air in,
Yeah, let the pressure off.
and then close it up again. It's so simple. Why are we not doing it?
Yeah. Come on, scientists.
Come on, NASA.
Dave, you ought to do a YouTube channel about this. You know, and start,
Sure, right. That'd be
You are
funny,
so itching for me to become some sort of conspiracy nut on YouTube. Maybe one day I'll get it done.
right, this next message from Warner contains a spoiler but talks about spoilers.
Oh dear.
I don't think it contains a spoiler, does it?
Possibly.
Let's
okay,
go.
let's go.
Just tread carefully.
I think
How
it
does David sleep at night knowing that he was happy to chew James out for spoiling God of War Ragnarok,
Correct.
where he only recently and very nonchalantly dropped the true identity of Atreus in episode 327?
Right.
He also followed that by telling Sean and other listeners who haven't played it just to deal with it. Just to deal with the revelation. At least James had the due diligence to unlist the videos offending videos from the public eye. Maybe David is the one that should apologise to Sony Santa Monica.
First of all, I've got to say, I didn't delist the videos. I think Matt probably did.
Yeah,
I deleted him. I think I'm comfortable with doing that, Warner, because I did that 5 years after the game came out. The
4
thing that I
years.
spoke about. I mean,
It's one of those that
it was a long
maybe
time
when you
after the game came out.
maybe when you fully know the context, like maybe it seems like a bigger revelation, but I won't repeat it now just in case anyone listening didn't listen to episode 327. To me, hearing it out of context, I wasn't like, oh well, fucking hell, like what? Yeah, I was just like, oh okay, that's a different name.
I would say that. I mean, for starters, when you start the new game that comes out, they just call him that anyway. So
Right.
like, there's literally no build up to it in the recent game.
Yep.
The one from 4 years ago, I think I'm all right. I think I'm comfortable with my decision there, Warner. But thanks for stepping up to the plate. But if you could take your seat again, and
Yeah.
what?
Well done, but pipe down. If you want to leave your feedback, go to tcgs.co/dear-tcgs. Cool. Stop there. Right. When I talk, can you hear a buzzing? Because I can.
No.
No.
Okay. Well, basically, like my audio stopped for like 30 seconds and then I restart it again. So at the end, it'll be fine. But I can hear like a massive buzzing when I talk. So
it'll be fine that you're doing, Sean. If I piece that together.
Oh shit!
It'll be fine that I'm now having to add a.
What should we do? What do you want to do?
No. Because I wasn't talking. I don't think it'll be very hard at all to align what I was saying.
All right.
Cool.
But if no one's can hear the buzzing, it's all good.
No.
Fine.
Oh, sorry. Well, before we continue, Digifolio, is that you? Are you Warner?
Yes, he is.
Oh, that's brilliant. I hope you do know that I'm literally just bucking about and I'm an idiot. And you feel free to send in another message absolutely slating me. This is the problem. This is the people that watch us on Twitch get to see real me every now and then. And, you know, I'm actually a really nice guy, actually.
Yeah.
An improvement.
Shut up, Jamie. Prick. For next week's show, okay. I don't know, can someone ban Digifolio, please?
Yeah.
Good. Please note that 4-year barrier with spoilers for later. Right, okay. I don't know what it's all about, Scientologists. Should we get going? Should we get back to it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is that it for the feedback, Matt?
It is.
It's time for the news.
Hello. What?
Hello.
Can I start with that?
Do you always start with that?
No, I've never done that before. I thought
Right,
I'd try.
well, then do that going on from now on. Here is the news.
Do they? Oh, hello. Do they do that? Do they do that on like the news? I can't remember.
Do they start with hello on the news? Good. Don't
They
anyone
say
Google
hello,
it.
good evening.
Hello, yeah, hello and good evening.
Yeah, but they don't just go.
I'm James.
Hello.
Farley.
Yeah, no, but I can't say good evening because where they're listening to it might not be the evening.
All right. Say good.
Yeah, but
potting.
if you record a telly program and then you watch it at a different time of day, you don't just sit there going, "Why are they all saying good morning? It's clearly 7 p.m."
Different for a podcast, I think. I think it's different.
I'm with you there, James. I'm with you there. I think Sean's been a bit out of order there, mate.
Just trying to have a laugh.
First time.
Just trying to have fun with it.
I'm just waiting for a mate. Like, go on.
Okay, so anyway, there's been a whole bunch of like industry layoffs in the past week.
This has sucked, right? This has just been bad. It's been awful.
Really bad.
So, I mean, we've got a whole list here. I mean, I'm not going to read through every single detail for every single one because it's ridiculous. But there are some connective sort of tissue between each of these that's quite sort of similar. I mean, first of all, you got Google laid off 12,000, Microsoft are laying off 10,000, Unity have laid off nearly 300, Riot Games have let 46 people go, and GameSpot and Giant Bomb are also letting people go, and Vox Media laid off 130. So Google said that it spent 2 years growing, and they hired for a different economic reality than the one that we face today. That was their reasoning. Bethesda Game Studios and 343 Industries are among the companies affected from Microsoft's side, and Satya Nadella said, "I'm confident that Microsoft will emerge from this stronger and more competitive." But this is also the third time since July that Microsoft have done layoffs as well.
Just on that specifically, obviously, there's big rumours about 343, or maybe not rumours, they confirmed now, but 343, developing Halo, massively affected, and then other people saying, is this going to be the end of 343 making Halo games? There was a statement from 343 saying, no, we're making Halo, but
yeah, they put out a statement. Yeah, I think it was the other day where they just said, we're fully committed to Halo. Although next news story, people not so happy about that. But then also Unity CEO John Riccatello, he said, we reassessed our objectives, strategies, goals, and priorities in light of the current economic conditions. While we remain focused on the same vision, we decided that we need to be more selective in our investments to come out stronger as a company. And then this is the second round of layoffs for Unity in less than a year. They let go of 225 employees in June last year. And they're saying that they're doing this to realign some of our resources to better drive focus and support our long-term growth. Riot Games have also obviously done the same. They've done the same thing. They said Riot Games implemented strategic shifts within a few teams to sharpen our focus in a number of areas. With these shifts, certain roles were eliminated, impacting a total of 46 rioters. This is part of our normal course of business. We periodically make changes to our structure and our teams based on what we believe will allow us to deliver the best content and experiences for players. And then also about 40 to 50 people from GameSpot and Giant Bomb have gone, and this is after Fandom bought them, because that was quite recently that happened. And then Vox has laid off 7% of its workforce, which is 130 employees, and they said this was also because of economic challenges, as they said.
Sorry to ask, but I haven't, and this is probably the wrong thing to say or wrong thing to ask, but the GameSpot on Giant Bomb staff, is there anyone we know?
I mean, Jess has gone. Jason, is it Striker? Who's been there from pretty much day one from Giant Bomb. He's also gone. Obviously, Jess came in only feels recently, but last few months, maybe it's been a year. But she's like a big part of like the new. Identity
that's right. Yeah.
So her and Jason going is massive. I mean, Jason's been forever.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like some of these are. Stop. Fuck.
All right.
My audio stopped.
Oh.
Do you want to use audio device Microsoft Teams audio?
Oh, I had that one week. It's really annoying. It's that's what before it happened to me, and I said, we got to stop because it was exactly the same thing.
I'm
Teams.
hopeful that it's right. Okay, so I'm going to uninstall Teams. One sec.
There was an update where they added their own audio driver for Teams, and it's like.
Sorry, guys. Let's
we're stopping.
Yeah.
So stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Stop.
Okay.
Let me just check the last thing that was said on mine. I think it was. Hold on one sec. Oh, it was still recording.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. So the good news is we haven't lost anything. So let me. So sorry, Sean.
That's all right.
So let's export that, and then we'll get going again.
Done.
Because it bounces up, doesn't it, in GarageBand or whatever?
I need to just uninstall
Steam.
Steam. Yeah, I never had Teams on it until last week, and I had a Teams meeting, so I had to install it on there.
I hate
Great
that
piece of software.
It's fucking
so
shit,
bad.
isn't it? Dropbox.
Every time it's like, do you want to log in? Like, why am I not logged in? Why?
It's 334.
335.
335-1. And then I will, while I'm doing that, I'll uninstall. I'm sorry, everyone watching. This happens sometimes. Sometimes it feels like there's a cursed show. I don't think this is going to fall into that category, but it's not good, is it? When this happens. Microsoft Teams. There we go. Right. So you reckon if I uninstall that or just delete it, James?
That it depends because I don't know if it will delete the driver or not. But
it usually does. If you delete the app, it gets rid of all of it, doesn't it?
It should do.
What did you do?
I had to fiddle around with some settings, but I can't remember what they were. Sorry, because it was weeks ago.
But you kept Teams installed.
Yeah, I've still got it installed. Yeah,
no, fuck it. I don't want it.
Because I have to, because I have to use it for work all the time, which is amazing.
Yeah. We use Zoom primarily.
Yeah, I'd rather use that, honestly. It's at least it doesn't make the fans go like after it's been on for like 2 or 3 minutes.
So we use Zoom, but at least it's on a completely separate device that's totally divorced from any of.
Do you have one of those when those companies started like getting hold of old Android tablets and went, "Oh, this is a dedicated meeting tablet." No one's ever using that.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots.
Probably do the same thing to make sure this is. I think it is still working fine. There we go.
Why am I suddenly getting buzzing? I literally haven't touched a single thing in the setup for bloody ages. Love that.
Good old computers.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need a little bit more time, Matt, or are you good?
No. If you can't hear it, that's the main thing.
And it's not coming out in your recording?
No.
Fine.
All right, everyone hit record.
Oh, hang on.
That's all right. Stop again.
No, you're supposed to go,
Okay.
Stop it now.
Right, I've stopped.
I'm ready now.
Right. Everyone hit record. 3, 2, 1. Matt. Yeah, like I look at this story and I think you know, I think the Google one and the Microsoft one stick out the most, obviously, because they're the bigger numbers. Every company goes through redundancies. Every company goes through layoffs. And we all know right now the cost of living crisis, it also affects workplaces. Layoffs are never...
Go on.
Sorry?
But isn't basically every company on this list doing absolutely fine?
Well,
Yes.
yes.
One of them spending $65 billion on another company.
Exactly. Doesn't this make the Activision stuff look even worse now?
Yes. I think what I was about to say was I think it tells a bigger story for those two, for Google and Microsoft, because Google have laid off a lot of people just after shutting down a major service, right? I think that you know, there's got to be some links there. It's not fully representative of all those numbers. And then Microsoft, something's going on. Just something is going on, and we've got further stories in the news about this, but there's something happening at Microsoft and it's not working.
It's weird, isn't it? Because Microsoft, like, because, you know, Google, no one expects Google to make morally correct decisions anymore. Microsoft, relatively speaking, as tech companies go, felt like one of the safer employees. Broadly speaking, they've been like quite happy with staff forming unions. You know, pretty good in terms of like employee benefits, etc., etc. So relatively speaking, they seemed like, and I'm doing the air quotes for people listening to the podcast, the good guys. So for them in particular, this seems incredibly shitty.
The union stuff to me always. Sorry, Matt, go ahead. Sorry.
So I mean, like Amazon, lost like 18,000 last year, or whatever. Meta, thousands. So all the major tech companies are losing tens of thousands of people.
But is this just everyone just thinking, oh well, fuck it, everyone else is doing it?
There's totally stuff. I mean, companies will always look to save money in if they can, you know. And I think in some areas, the one example, and it's completely unrelated to tech companies, but the one example that always does me is that, do you remember when you were a kid in Tesco's and you look down the aisle of people that are behind the tills, and there was like 40 people, you know, like lined up on their tills, and now there's like 4 and a big old bunch of self-scanning units, you know.
Because I used to work on the tills, and I also remember, like, for quite a while, I tried to avoid using those self-checkout things because I just thought this is clearly just a plan to get rid of people, and that's not
get rid of overheads,
you know, to do that. That's not okay. But then they are really convenient, is the problem.
Like someone who would rather not speak to strangers.
Yeah,
I actively prefer using a self-service checkout. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's the, you know, age-old tale, isn't it? Like, you know, increased automation should just make people's lives easier, but actually it tends to result in people getting laid off and the employer making massive savings.
But there's a difference between, you know, a department being shut down or a team being let go, and these numbers seem to suggest no, it's actually a massive. There's you know, they're letting hardworking, talented staff go, and that is, you know, it's shit. But I think with all the other stories coming out about Microsoft at the moment, this really doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? No. And maybe wrongly so. We don't know what it's like at those companies at the moment. We don't know what it's like in any of the studios that they've got. But as a fan, you're looking at Microsoft and their output over the past, say, 5 years, and you're going, shit, man, what is going to happen now?
This is the year that I think they really have to pull some things out.
We've said that for 3 years running.
No, but I think they really have to now.
I know, we've said that for 3 years running, and I'm not expecting any ground to be moved.
Because I am.
Not this year.
I'm expecting there's going to be some things. There has to be. Because it's been far too long now.
The sad thing is, we've gone past that where I just can't. I'm sure it will happen, but it'll be a bigger surprise for them to actually announce something than, you know, the norm now is just no announcements. It's just this forever. For them to actually announce something, but a genuine surprise, they've actually announced something. Whereas I've given up, kind of wondering and thinking, is this the year? They need to do it this year. They need to do it this year.
Yeah,
well, maybe they don't.
But then at the risk of, like, because we're going down a pop. This is about job losses rather than, well, when are we getting our games? So
yeah, I mean, I think it's fair enough to look at this through the lens of like the 343 stuff specifically,
Yes.
because we all know Halo Infinite is not where it should be, and I do mean that in the sincere sense that it is a good game.
It's a really
just
good game.
Just not held that momentum that it should have.
Well, no, it shat the bed.
Yeah.
And I just don't see. Halo Infinite was supposed to be the future of Halo, and I don't think it is anymore. I don't think they continue with it.
I thought Halo Infinite. I really kind of thought at the beginning this was supposed to be like Destiny, basically.
Yeah,
This
like
was
But that's how they were talking about it.
Yeah.
That it was going to be expanded on. It was going to be worked on. I think they're going to cancel those plans.
You think so?
We will probably see another Halo game.
You can see Halo Infinite 2 or something like that.
Imagine that, the never-ending story.
We should as well. I mean, because we're sort of skimming over the relatively small numbers of redundancies. One thing that made me feel really sick was that Riot statement. When they're like, we're letting go of 60-odd rioters. It's like, no, you don't get to use your funny pet name for your staff when you're fucking sacking them. That's so weird.
It was horrible.
Anyway, if you've been affected by any of these layoffs, obviously, heart goes out to you. It's a shitty time of year, especially to lose your job, and with the way things are at the moment, it's even worse to be out of work. So, hope you pick something up soon. And not good.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, like the Giant Bomb and it's kind of GameSpot stuff is it's really sad.
So following on from that, there's also been some ex-Halo Infinite developers have been criticising Microsoft and saying they have incompetent leadership. So this is Patrick Wren, who's the former senior multiplayer designer on Halo Infinite. He's now working at Respawn on Jedi Survivor. And he said the layoffs at 343 shouldn't have happened and Halo Infinite should be in a better state. The reason for both of these things is incompetent leadership up top during Halo Infinite development, causing massive stress on those working hard to make Halo the best it can be. And then also Tyler Owens, who is another 343 industry employee who's now also at Respawn working on Apex Legends. He said, as a Halo fan, I'm really tired of Microsoft business practices and policies slowly killing the thing I love. Between the contracting policies they abuse for tax incentives and layoffs in the face of gigantic profits and executive bonuses, they set up Halo for failure. Yeah. And
how does that work? I mean...
It feels like there's like a ton of detail we're missing there, isn't there? Really?
Yeah. Which obviously, it's dangerous to go out there and start spouting details because they would have signed things to say that they can't do that, right?
Yeah. So I'm inclined to believe these people because, as you say, they know there's a risk in what they're saying. They would not say it unless they were pretty fucking sure of it.
But the thing with the contracting though, that has been mentioned before, like with Halo Infinite in particular. They've talked about this many times, that things have been contracted out to other companies. And it's
but no, hold on, that's a regular practice in games development though. Like that's not necessarily a problem with
but then if
the
they're
way
saying
Microsoft do things.
they're doing it for tax incentives,
I would assume that most people do it for tax incentives. At the very least, they're doing it to take advantage of cheaper labour. So I don't think that could be. You look at that as a problem with the industry rather than.
Sorry, it's not contractors is cheaper labour. Often contractors are expensive. It's just there's less hassle if you bring someone in.
Not at all. I mean, what you need to do, go and watch. What was it? People Make Games, the Chris Pratt series. He did third-party contractor companies. He did a whole video on it. It was fascinating. And it was way cheaper. It's way cheaper, Matt. We're not talking about contract staff that come within, say, America or Europe. We're talking where they go to Korea or where the labour is just way cheper to do.
Okay, well, that's different. It's like standard contractors, which is fairly common.
That's a different thing.
But in terms of this thing about contracting and about the practices and policies, I'm wondering, like, if you think about like Perfect Dark, what happened to that? They set up a new studio supposedly to make a Perfect Dark game, and then announced it. And then now Crystal Dynamics are making that. That must have cost a fortune to like shift that over to like another company to make it instead as well.
Aren't Crystal Dynamics supporting the initiative?
Well,
they were supposed to be supporting it. Well, no, hold on. You can't. You can't just.
Crystal Dynamics are a very good company who make like really good stuff. I'd imagine they're probably pretty hands-on. with what they're doing with that. I doubt they're doing little.
Okay, all conjecture though.
Yeah,
Joe.
it's
Be careful
completely
what you're doing,
conjecture,
mate.
obviously, but then that also backs up this whole idea of the practices and policies that the company's running maybe not working quite so
There's
well.
something. There just seems to be something off at the moment, and I think we're looking at it from consumers. Obviously, we don't know anything about what's going on inside. I've said it a million times, whatever. But it's just to explain our view. But as I said, as a fan of Microsoft, I love the hardware they've put out this time, and I love Game Pass. I love their services. Their output in terms of their own development, it's been lacking for ages now.
Fascinating, really, when you consider that historically Microsoft are a software company.
That's what I was thinking today.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about the story, I was thinking, why is it the hardware that I love?
And I'm not,
I'm
not saying like making Halo is the same as making XL, but you would think some learning would carry over there, and that their core expertise would be, brought to bear in terms of game development, and it doesn't seem like that is happening. It must be more complicated than that. Like, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but I don't know.
I think also the real sort of test for this year, I think, will be what's released that's Microsoft Game Studio stuff that's like not Bethesda. Do you know what I mean? Like that Bethesda stuff, like Starfield and things, that was already coming, wasn't it? That was already they were already working on that, and they were already proven to be putting that stuff out pretty regularly. It's all these other companies they bought as well and set up and everything. They're the ones that I think are the ones to watch to see whether it's working.
Well, this is it, because you would hope they're. I mean, I can't remember how most of them spoke about it, but I remember like with Double Fine, they were like, "We've been purchased. We've been told to just crack on. That we're not being interfered with." Yeah. So you would hope that is the strategy in most cases. Certainly, like Obsidian seem to be more or less doing whatever they want, given that they just made like last year they put out 2 weird small games instead of the big one that is hopefully going to be like up there with an Elder Scrolls or whatever. So it seems like they are being afforded that freedom, and given what we're hearing of Microsoft's management, maybe that's a very good thing.
Yeah, it's going to be a really. You're right. It's going to be a pivotal year for them this year. I mean, it'd be. I can't wait to see what we're thinking about Microsoft this time next year.
If we're saying 2024, it's going to be a big year.
Yeah,
they've really got to prove it.
They really got to do so
this year.
Mad, isn't it?
Right. Next story is that we've got the full PSVR 2 lineup of games. It's like 37 games, and I mean, I'm not going through the list on here because it's ridiculous. I mean, have you seen it? Anybody?
I'm not going through the list on here because it will convince me to go and buy one.
Because they all sound really good, and I don't want to be persuaded.
I don't think it will, because I mean, you look at it; it's all Quest 2 games, isn't it? Mostly?
Yeah, we spoke about this on WhatsApp, didn't we?
How many emails have you got about? Oh, please pre-order it. Like
quite a few.
About 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Getting
Do you think
desperate.
there's a conversation around there's a conversation around a table somewhere going, when do we look too desperate for people to buy this thing? Like, when do we stop sending those emails? Because it's getting embarrassing now.
I swear, I think it's going to bomb. Honestly, I really think it is going to. It's far too expensive. Like, I really think that's the thing.
This is it. It's like on the one hand, yeah, of course, it's got loads of Quest 2 games because Quest is more, as far as I'm aware, like the dominant bit of VR hardware at the moment. So of course that's where all the development has been focused. Of course, it makes sense to get ports of those games. However, I think I expected more exclusive stuff, or maybe more like PC VR exclusive stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If this was launching,
hasn't been big for a long time.
It's true. I'm saying that. The Wanderer, I think, is a good example, but then I can't think of many others that haven't now seen a Quest 2 port.
But what you got to think about is what are those games like sort of aiming for? So when you think about people that are willing to buy a VR headset, I would say that by now, people who are really into VR have probably got a Quest, right? Or they've had a Quest at some point, right? So then you're looking at a PSVR headset that's primarily filled with games that are already out on the Quest. So for those people, you're then looking for buyers that will only buy PlayStation's VR headset. Then
Yeah,
they've got
it's
access
like
to games that
they're-
they've never played before.
Yeah, it's like they're thinking of like PlayStation fans who had a PSVR 1, have not touched VR since,
Yeah.
and are now looking at PSVR 2.
I think that's a very
think it's a-
small
I think
amount
it's a
of
time, and then
people.
asking them to spend like nearly 600 quid or whatever on that.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And also, I mean,
go on.
I'm just thinking, like, why they should have done whatever they could to have got Half-Life Alyx on this thing. You know,
Yeah.
that would have been
Yeah.
something.
That
That has to
launch
be
game.
coming. I mean, yeah, just give Valve every
But that's
penny
what
you can to get it on.
James is saying though. Get that there for launch. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
is
why
your
is that
launch
not
game.
like leading
Yeah.
the charge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's
Yeah.
Because
I-
if you've got a Quest, it's a ball ache to play Half-Life Alyx, right? If you don't know what you're doing.
no.
Right?
If you've got a PC
No.
that can run it, it's super easy now.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So there is that hurdle there.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got PS5 and you're getting this new PS5, you can play Half-Life Alyx at a really good frame rate or whatever.
See,
I mean,
It's
you
a-
could,
it's a
you
great
could
launch
argue,
title.
Yeah.
You could argue that a Quest 2 and a 500 quid PC that'll give you Half-Life Alyx.
You reckon?
Yeah. At this
Oh.
point, yeah.
Shit.
But either way, I mean, there's a couple of games on here that I don't know. Maybe they're interesting. I mean, the Horizon one doesn't really particularly interest me because it's like.
There's
but
loads of really good games.
But
There's no
I
doubt
wouldn't
about
mind. I wouldn't mind playing Gran Turismo 7, like in
Oh,
like
yeah,
VR
yeah.
or whatever. But I'm not paying that amount of money to do that. Like it's ridiculous.
Also, those driving games to me have always felt like, oh, I'll do this once or twice for a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
they're never
they-
how you're
they're
going to play
never-
the game.
No, you know, and you look at Tetris Effect Connected. Well, that was on the last PSVR.
And it's
you know,
tenner for the upgrade as well.
oh, you're kidding me?
No.
Do you want to play? I mean, Res Infinite. We could play that again.
We did
The
that. again.
very first game we all
Who
played
cried
in
at that?
VR.
Was that Matt? No, it was
good.
Sean. Sean cried.
I didn't cry, I don't think. Or if I did, I had the headset on, and no one can prove either way. So it's fine. But yeah, it was a fucking emotional experience for sure.
I mean, like Creed: Rise to Glory. I streamed that on PlayStation VR 1.
Fucking hell.
Look, let's face it, right? It's if it comes out and it's absolutely brilliant, then that's good. It's good for VR. It's good for the industry. It's great. I'm skeptical about it. When James finally gets his hand on his before the end of the year, we'll have the definitive review from James Farley.
We'll find out after the £100 price cut that's inevitably going to happen.
Right.
And we'll see. Yeah.
And you know,
Okay.
and I've said before, Matt's having to stay very quiet during this section. I understand why. just to acknowledge. But like, yeah, it annoys me as a Quest fan because I want the Quest to have decent competition, because I want Zuckerberg to see like, oh, there's another good VR headset that doesn't have the fucking metaverse in it. Like I want that competition to exist, and I'm worried that it won't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't got like again. We said they're absolutely going to open with like PlayStation Home. PlayStation Home is coming back in VR. It's insane that they haven't got that. They're in this.
Do you think?
You know what I mean?
I'm
I don't-
pretty
Yeah,
sure we'd
but
all be
no-
making fun if they were.
Of course
Not
we
just
would,
that,
but
but also
look.
the number of people that are going to buy this headset, they wouldn't even fit on one server probably. You know,
Okay,
it's
fine. But imagine this, right? Imagine this just for a second. All right, we would take the piss. We would. But imagine a free VR space that with the likes of like VR chat is really popular, right?
Yeah.
You are
And then
imagining Horizon Worlds.
Yeah, and you've got what's that other one? Rec Room.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, but it's all PlayStation themed. Everything's play. Do you know what I mean? You just think, oh, that gives you something to focus on when it comes to marketing this headset, at launch. And they just haven't seemed to like. Thumper is on this list.
You could have a space like that. Have some dartboard games. You know, you could have like some card games and stuff. It'd be
All
great.
of that.
You know,
All
just
of that.
stuff. You know.
It's weird, isn't
I
it?
can't believe they haven't done that either. Surely
Focus
that's coming.
Stars VR. Did I tell you? We played that recently. They're still updating it. It's insane. So now you don't boot up into the lobby. You boot up into your own like house, your own flat,
Cool.
and you've got all the bits there. And it's got like a real casino that you can not a real one. It's got like a proper casino that you can like walk around and stuff. But the most amazing thing, I've never seen this in a VR game before. So there's this new item in it, and it's like this little disc, and you pick up the disc and you draw a window like in space in where you're sitting, and it's a pass-through. So if like I just had a window to my right-hand side, so I can look into my front room.
Little portal into reality.
A little portal into reality. So so instead of doing the double tap and then seeing the whole thing and then double tap and come back, you could just draw a window. And I was like, oh my God, that's so fucking clever, right?
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, I don't know why it is, but get those people some sort of award.
Well, because especially like if you're if you're like sat down or you got a coffee table in front of you, then you just draw a little hole for where your fucking drink is.
Yeah,
and then
perfect.
There it is. Cheers.
Yep, that's what I was using it for. I was looking over to see my beer, or if Joe was like popping through to look at what her husband is. Yeah, look, we like VR stuff here, especially at TCGS. We love it at TCGS.
TCGS Towers.
I struggle to see the vision for PSVR 2 at this point, but
it really feels like they just thought, well, we'll just make a better headset and just crack on,
and that'll
not
be that.
Really put any effort in.
Weird, isn't it?
See, I can see the vision. I just think it's really stupid.
Just a shit vision.
in this current economic climate, I just think it's really stupid.
Yeah,
what they're trying to do, but you know.
Okay,
anyway.
All right. Matt is now sweating. He's crying, and he's got blood coming down from the lip that he's biting.
The annoying thing about this is that I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep my pre-order either because I've got too much to pay out for, and like it's
that's a story.
540 quid. So it's like,
I mean, plus you'll get to have a go on one at work presumably at some point, so that'll sate your curiosity.
I'm not sure.
Can't confirm or deny that.
Surely that's not a massive leap. That at some point this year there will be one in the office, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's one in his office right now, like next to him, like at home.
Yeah, just out of shot. Yeah, but it's just like there's just too much to pay out for, and like it's just because I pre-ordered the Horizon bundle because you actually save 20 quid if you pre-order the bundle. Yeah. But I don't think I'm going to do it, so that's annoying.
Okay, next story is that Marvel Avengers is finally ending. And it's so Crystal Dynamics they've made it official, and the last update for this is going to be 31st of March this year, and then they're going to completely stop support on the 30th of September. But you'll still be able to play like the single player parts of this afterwards, and they've said that after the last update is November 2.0. Oh no, the last November 2.7.
You just reading the story now, are you?
Yeah, I'm just making sure. No, because I thought it was from before.
Avengers? They made a game, have they?
Yeah. The 2.7 update brought the Winter Soldier into it, and that's like one of the last final content releases they're going to be doing. Yeah. But can I also, as a show of appreciation, they said to the games community, all marketplace challenge cards and cosmetics and all that kind of thing, it's all going to be made free to players from the 31st of March onwards. So if you bought all that stuff, then you could have just waited and got it all for free later on.
I mean, surely the point is that no one was buying it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because this was one of the many things, and we've said this loads of times before. The campaign of that game is a perfectly solid, enjoyable 7 out of 10 romp, right? It's the game as a service stuff that was tacked onto it that sort of makes it seem shit. The main thing is that it's like it's a game where it's like, oh yeah, you have your character and you get upgrades for him and stuff. It's like, yeah, but it's an established Marvel character. You can't like make your own, and you have to buy the costumes. So you're getting extra, like, oh, you got like some new armor for Hulk who doesn't wear any, and there's no visible change. And I feel like that is a huge part for any game as a service. You got to be able to make your own guy, and then you got to be able to make him look cooler as you progress. And that none of that was in because it was established heroes, and you had to buy the costumes.
Forget all that. These are minor little gripes that you might have with the game. How do you fuck this up this badly? Right now, knowing what I know now about Marvel, you look. I'm just looking now. Avengers Endgame took 2.7 billion, 2.8 billion at the box office. Eternals, one of the. I don't know if our episode's out yet. I might not hate it.
It's on the lesser end of the spectrum.
But still, 400 million.
It's out for patrons.
400 million at box office, right? How do you fuck this up this bad? Like what was wrong with the game? Because the stuff that Sean's told us about It's not that bad, right?
No, but okay. This game came out at the wrong time for the kind of game it was. That's
Right.
what this was. Because they made a game that people didn't want, which was a live services game.
Yeah, if they
they'd
just
have
stuck to the campaign stuff,
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been incredible numbers, but it would have been fine.
yeah.
But it
But
had
live
this
service,
stink
but hold
around it.
on, live service games still sell. Like it's not like a
Yeah,
live
but
service
this
game comes out
didn't.
and it plummets straight away. This didn't, but there must be a reason. Look, loads of people love the Avengers, loads of people love Marvel stuff, right? I fail to believe that it's just because it was a live service game is why it flopped. There
I think
must
it
be
is.
something more interesting there. There's got to
I mean,
be.
honestly,
A lot-
it's on Game Pass. Have a look. You'll have a perfectly good time,
right.
and then you'll
A
just
lot
be
of
like,
people-
"But why is this upgrade shit in it? I don't get it."
Yeah,
Like,
I remember
it's
seeing
ju-
the trailer thinking, oh, hang on, like, this is like, I love Spider-Man games. This is like, oh, another one of these. Yeah, it's Marvel. Not quite the same as appeal for the movies, but hey, this looks cool. And then when I heard it was live service, I'm like, no, I haven't got time for that. I bet I'm
do you
not the only
remember-
one to think that.
Do you remember all the other nonsense they had, like how Spider-Man was exclusive to PlayStation as well, and all that, like when it first came out, and there was all
Yeah.
that, and it's the live service thing of like adding this idea that you have to grind for some reason, that you have to sort of keep playing, keep doing daily quests and all that kind of stuff to get the best gear. People were sick of that by this point, and what would have been better is they should have released like a regular standard game, not a live services one, with DLC for like campaign stuff when the films came out. You just, new film
That'd
comes out, you got some DLC, that's
Right.
like to do with that.
It's really interesting listening to Game Maker's Notebook, the podcast. They had Ben Brode on, who made Marvel Snap. Not by himself, with a lot of other people, but worked on Hearthstone. Then worked on Marvel Snap, and he was talking about, I forget the guy's name now, but the person at Disney who is responsible for Marvel games. And he's going on about, he's like, yeah, this, he has, like, his entire thing is that every, like, Marvel games should be like Marvel films. Every one of them should be an event. Every one of them should be like an expected, like, minimum level of quality should be up there, right? Like, every Marvel film is perfectly entertaining, even if even the ones you don't like so much, they're all fine, right? Mm-hmm. And and then you just sort of look at this game and it's like, well, that didn't happen,
Exactly.
did it?
It should have been, I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy. That was brilliant.
Yeah, really good.
Some more of those, please. That would have been, and I think, okay, maybe that didn't sell so well either, but I think that was because...
Right, so I'm looking now because I was interested myself. So Guardians of the Galaxy sold roughly 4 million units, which isn't too bad, but it's not great, is it, for a Marvel thing?
It's not great.
trying to
Square
find
Enix game, apparently.
I'm just trying to find the Avengers. I bet it sold more. I bet it sold more than 4 million. And if so, what went wrong?
I mean, what's also interesting is that going by leaks, admittedly, it looks like the same mistakes are being made with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The new Rocksteady game, because it looks like that's a service game and it's got a battle pass and all the other shit. It's like, no, people just want a good story and then they want it to end. And then that's
it's
fine.
It's always the same, isn't it? This happens every couple of years. There's some new thing that does really well. Like we had the MMO time. Then we had like the Fortnite, like everyone's got to do a battle royale, everyone has to do a battle pass, all that kind of thing. But there's such a limited market. Like there's a limited number of people that are going to invest their amount of time into something like that, and it's just.
And it just reeks of someone at. Whether it's Warner Brothers with Suicide Squad or Square Enix with Avengers, has put together a spreadsheet going, look, this is how much money we make if we make a Destiny, and they've gone, good, do that, and it's all been greenlit on that understanding. So you can't just go, well, actually, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to put out a £50 game and be done with it. Like there are too many people who would fucking kick off by that point. Too many investors, too many.
I mean. Are you suggesting, Sean, that Square Enix maybe don't know what they're doing? Like very much, with the NFTs
Forspoken's out soon, and it looks like a banger, so it's going to be fine.
You can't fuck Avengers up. You need to. There's clearly a good game in this.
I mean, because again, one of my favorite examples of why, for some reason, people had knives out for the Avengers game is when that footage was doing the rounds of like, haha. when it shows you how Thor's big slam down on the ground attack works, the game just pauses until you press the button. It isn't that rubbish. And then Maddie Thorson, who made Celeste, was like, we did exactly the same thing for Celeste. No one gave a shit.
Yeah.
No one bothered us about that. No one thought that was funny and bad. It just
so people were against it from day one then, I guess.
I think it's because people were also coming off of there was Anthem as well, wasn't there, before that? It just feels like there'd been a lot of live service things that people had.
No, but I think it's also the hangover, people loved the Spider-Man games and thought this was another one of them. And then suddenly oh, hang on, sour taste in their mouths because it's not another one of them, it's this instead. And then it kind of, started off on the wrong foot, I think.
It is, it's not open world, but it is that sort of Sony-ish mold where it's really genuinely really good cutscenes, really good representations of the characters, not exactly as they are in the films, but whatever. And interspersed with the stealth bits, there's action bits, etc. There's a hub that you sort of return to, and more characters start showing up and things change and stuff. It's got all that stuff.
But that's the other thing, though. The character models are another thing that I think they could have done better. Instead, because they didn't go one way or the other, did they? They obviously they couldn't get the MCU people. They couldn't get Robert Downey Jr. and people like that for it. But they didn't do it distinctively enough that it was like they're making their own style.
Yeah.
It was still a bit too close, but not close enough.
But then you Guardians was that. Spider-Man. Yeah, Guardians was that. Spider-Man was that.
It wasn't though at all. If you look, come on, the Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy looks nothing like what's his face? I've forgotten his name. Yeah,
no,
it looks nothing like him.
But
largely
Spider-Man, they were very similar with it.
Yeah, the Spider-Man, they basically
changed it.
Yeah,
they changed it, didn't
they?
To
look very Tom Holland-like.
Yeah.
Which I thought was weird and unnecessary, but whatever.
Harsh on the original actor.
But then, again, the Avengers game, another smart decision it makes is okay, so they got all this flack for it's like the Avengers, but they all just look worse than in the films or whatever. But then the story focuses on Kamala Khan, who we hadn't seen, on TV or in films or anything at that point. So it's a really nice way into the that world, because she starts out as a fangirl, she just loves the Avengers. It's really good.
I'll probably play that then this week.
Here we go. You will...
The kids are watching it at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even good studios with the biggest licenses can still absolutely fuck it.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
We've
seen that time and time again.
Slam dunk. Crystal Dynamics, Marvel. How can it go wrong? But it has.
Yep.
Okay, last story. PowerWash Simulator is getting a Tomb Raider crossover later this month.
Did not see this coming.
But
no,
it's
but
also
I think they're absolutely doing the right thing with it.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen this stuff? Did you
no.
see it? Yeah, it's like the mansion and stuff. From Tomb Raider 2. All of that. I'm sure there'll be a reference to locking the butler in the fridge and all that sort of stuff. It's I love it.
It's also coming out on more platforms as well. It's coming to PC, PlayStation, and Switch as well.
PC.
Did you
started out on PC?
Did you read the press release? Did you read the press release?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
I was worried because it said, "Are you going to charge this DLC?" And it said, "PowerWash Simulator DLC is free for anyone that owns the game." And I thought, does that not include the Game Pass people?
Technically, I don't own it. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm fascinated to see if that is included with Game Pass. People that are playing on Game Pass. But I'll stream it regardless. I'll stream all the Tomb Raider stuff, and I hope they get more licenses. I'd love to see Only Fools and Horses. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but Only Fools and Horses on PowerWash Sim, please.
This is totally the right way. It's exciting to see what they do next with another license or 10. But yes, out 31st of Jan, so not even that long.
Cool.
No, week and a half, something like that.
So that's kind of the end of the news. But did you all get that email from Nintendo about why don't you go and try playing Mario Odyssey?
I don't think I did, but
I did. Yeah.
So you got it, did you? It just come from Nintendo.
Yeah,
it's a standard kind of email marketing.
What was the subject?
I don't remember. It was something like, I'd have to have a look. See if I've still got it.
Look ahead of 2023.
It says Super Mario Odyssey. Remember the last time you played it?
That was it. Yeah.
So I didn't get that. I did not get that email.
And then I opened saying, "What are your favourite voyages in Super Mario Odyssey?" Did you visit every kingdom? How many power moons did you get? What about Mario's wardrobe? Hunting for other
So
players'
it's not
balloons
hinting
or
that there's
something?
more stuff in the game. It's just hinting that you haven't
it's
done
just-
everything in the game.
And
Well,
it's telling you can get some wallpaper for like Microsoft, My Nintendo rewards. There's co-op. So
Does it say anything about cheating in the final level? Like, that
Doesn't
you haven't really
mention-
completed it.
it doesn't mention.
Try going back to Mario Odyssey because it's still on your fucking plate.
So yeah, but it's the way it's worded. Have you got it, James? Have you got that email?
Matt
Can
just
you
read
get
it.
it up? Because the bit at the end where it says something like, maybe it's time. Maybe now is a good time to go back to Super Mario Odyssey. And it's like, are they hinting at something here?
I don't think they are. I think it's just some weird thing where they've analysed that you haven't done everything in the game, and they're just
That
going,
must be it, because I didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't.
So I
either.
got 999 moons until Harry deleted my save, if you remember correctly.
I do.
But I did. I got everything.
All
like in
David
that game.
says there's 880 unique power moons to get in this email. So, ooh,
Yeah, unique ones, because the rest
buy
of the
the
ones that you
rest.
buy from the shop.
doesn't count.
Sorry, Matt, you wouldn't know that because you only played up and you glitched through to the end, and then
Well, no, I did
Oh,
the
yeah.
500 moon thing. I thought this is it
well,
for me.
you did it by glitching through.
I didn't
the
glitch.
hardest
I did a
part.
backflip off the lift.
Hardest part.
Wasn't even a glitch.
Didn't do the hardest bit, but
I didn't glitch. It wasn't a glitch. It was a backflip
it
off a
was,
lift.
well. But didn't you say they patched it out? You can't do it anymore.
No, you're thinking about the kind of invisible frog hop from the start to the end.
I'm
I
not
didn't
thinking
go
about
out.
anything, mate, because I did it legitimately.
Yeah, no, nothing was
Just
causing
think about how good that moment was completing it legitimately. So you don't think you think this is just a weird email that's been sent out, Sean?
I think it's odd because I finished it. I finished it like completely 100%. So I don't know why they would send this.
Well,
It's
surely
very strange.
if they'd actually added new content to Mario Odyssey, that's what we would be saying has definitely happened because it would be everywhere.
Also,
Right.
if you're thinking that Nintendo are writing to people that they haven't finished it, and you should go back to this, do you really think that Nintendo have that data? Like, have the ability to
That's
be able
true,
to do
yeah.
that?
Yeah. They probably
Yeah.
haven't worked out what
Yeah.
metadata is yet.
Yeah.
So it's probably a whole.
So yeah, the last line is interesting. There may be even more out there still yet to be discovered. ...
Yes,
Perhaps
that's the
it's,
bit.
Hopping aboard the Odyssey once more and taking the trip all over again. And
What
then
does
it
that
asks
mean?
all the questions about: Did you visit every kingdom? Did you get every moon?
Sean,
I mean-
what does that mean?
I'm sticking with my original theory, but
It's weird that this email's come out just a few months before the movie.
yeah. But surely, if there was something new, that's what I mean. It'd be all over the place. There'd be footage. They'd be like, "Oh my god, everyone's started."
It is
like...
weird how no one else seems to give a shit about this email except for
Yeah.
us.
I think it's
you know-
nonsense. And also, the last thing I want is fucking platform holders emailing me going like, "I haven't finished this game yet, mate."
Sony are the worst
You
for
should
that.
try,
Yeah.
Sony with God of War.
Sony-
They emailed me
Really?
3 times.
Oh my god, Sony.
First of all, they emailed me to tell me that I should start playing the game after I'd
Yeah.
installed it. Then
Yeah.
they said, "Oh, well done, you've managed to start it." And then I finally got one saying, "Congratulations, you completed this game."
Yeah. Oh, we noticed you haven't played God of War for a couple of weeks. Why not go back
fuck is
into
wrong
the
with
wonderful world of... Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that is creepy.
It is really creepy.
Can you imagine though if this is going to be like DLC or something for Odyssey that's for the film? It'll be like explore the
Love
Mushroom
that.
Kingdom or
I'd love
something.
that.
Imagine how good
Yeah.
that
As
would
long
be.
as it's not a new 2D game, then I'm all on board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Really ruin everything. I'm going to say yes. There is some new content coming. What about that, Sean?
All right,
You just shove that up your nose, you prat.
I will.
Yeah? Smug. Prick.
It's pretty much.
Sorry. Is that it for the news?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Should we do what we've been playing? I think there's only one place to start, isn't there?
Sports story.
story?
I mean, I can do. I'll get this out of the way.
Go on.
It's getting worse.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to get better, but
It's getting worse. I'm doing this whole fishing bit, and the fishing is absolutely appalling, and it doesn't describe what you're supposed to be doing. There was a bit where the bicycle racing, but BMXing, and at one point I failed a challenge because I hit a bin right at the end just as the timer ran out, and my character span around like that, and then then when it went back to the start to carry on, he's still spinning, and it was like, what the fuck? am I supposed to be doing now?
Oh, what
So
a
to turn
shame.
that off and turn it back on again. Yeah, it's not funny. The stuff it's asking you to do is so vague and frustrating. And yeah, what a fucking mess, man. I think I might be done with it.
Yeah.
Well,
think
I was
I
going
might
to say,
be
you
done.
are still playing it. I mean, how long is the game going to be? Like, do you even
So
know
9 to 15 hours, which was about the same as the first game, because
how
it's, you know,
much you played so far then? You're not going to finish it?
6 hours, I think, maybe.
Oh, bin it, mate. Life's too short.
I know. But then it's easy to just turn on the Switch on my sofa.
You might
and
only
then
be
just
like
play it
2 or
for a
3
bit.
hours away.
But the fucking, honestly, the fishing stuff is so bad that I was just like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. And I'm trying to think of some of the other crazy shit that's happened. There's a bit with so did cricket as well. And the training with cricket, you're standing in front of 3 dustbins, and it's like, we're going to chuck 10 balls at you, and you've got to make sure that they don't hit every single one of the dustbins. For starters, you can't get over to protect them all. Like, there's not enough time to shift over to where it is. And then when you're down to 1 dustbin, like, the next 4 balls could just, like, fly off in different directions, nowhere near the dustbin. So you're not even protecting it. You're just standing there, letting the ball go past. It's just so weird, man. I'd love to know what happened to this game.
Like, why didn't they just, like, halfway through development, did they not have the idea of just being like, let's cut some of these sports? If it had 3
Well, they
or
must
4,
have, right?
you'd have been
Yeah, they
like,
must
right,
have.
fine. Did not
Yeah,
need
they must
this
have.
many.
They must have had all these decisions. You know, how many times do you hear that developers have thought of everything that we've thought about, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
a
they tried it
regular
and it
thing.
didn't work, and that's why.
Yeah, they must have got to the point where they're like, we're too far in now to cut all of this stuff from the game. But I think it's worse than that, because it doesn't feel like a game that's been worked on for 5 years. Something else has gone on.
And it's like you say, it's the fact that it's not funny. If it had been basically crap, but still funny, you'd have been like, yeah, do you know what?
It
You can
feels like
tell
a
something's still
placeholder
there.
script.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It feels like a placeholder script.
Yeah.
Like where, as I said, Coach, who wouldn't stop talking throughout the first game, says about 4 words in this one. And you're like, wow, it's really weird that he's not in it.
He's just feeling jaded, you know?
Could be. Anyway, I was feeling shaded playing it, mate.
Hey.
Well, that.
Shame.
So that's a sports story, but let's get to the big release this week. Obviously, it's Fire Emblem Engage.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I know nothing about this game. I'm not a Fire Emblem fan. I'm the only one on the show that hasn't played it, so I'm going to shut the fuck up.
Right.
But I'm really interested to see what you guys think of this, because
Because
I don't
reviews
know.
weren't
No
like
idea.
through the roof, were they? There was a lot of recommendations, but no one was giving it 10s or anything.
No, it wasn't like that, yeah.
Yeah, which is, fair enough. Like, so, for those who aren't aware, the Fire Emblem series has been going for God knows how many years now. And it's fantasy, turn-based strategy, but then intermingled with, between missions, there's like a social aspect, and there'll be like a little, like a home base or whatever, where you're running around, you're talking to people, further in the story, but also the conversations you have outside of battle can sort of reinforce your bonds with, like between units. So then you get like strategic advantages of like putting certain units together in combat. So there's a really good sort of, back and forth loop there. I'm really enjoying this. I think the things they've done to sort of change up the combat a little bit are really interesting. The series has always had this sort of rock, paper, scissors relationship between like swords, staves, and axes, right? Where each
I always
one...
forget. I always forget what the means. I have to keep looking it up every time.
Yeah, when I first showed it in a tutorial, I took a picture of that, and I'm like, as a favourite. So I have to, okay, so
It
red
does, if
is
you-
above green, and blue is red.
So it does tell you, like, so the unit you're controlling, if there's enemies that it'll be like more effective against, there'll be like a little red.
You see, I
thing
wasn't
over
sure if that was like saying don't bother with
good
this.
or bad. Yeah.
It's-
No,
it's
that's a
like
good
it's not-
thing when it's doing that.
It means they can't come back. I mean, it means you break them, right?
Well, yeah,
Is that what's
because this is what's interesting. So, as far as I'm aware, James might correct me. My understanding was it was always that rock paper scissors like relationship was always just like a damage advantage. So if you've got an axe user, it will do way more damage to a spear user, who will do way more damage to a sword user, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's not that you do more damage; it's that you disarm them when you hit them. So for the rest of that turn, they can't counterattack, because normally when you attack a unit, if they don't die, they'll usually get to hit you back as well, which is something you really have to think about, because every time you're attacking, you're also exposing yourself. But what this means is you can send in, so you send an axe unit towards a spear one, disarm it, and then you might have like a couple of other units who've got nothing else to do, who normally you wouldn't risk putting up against that spear unit, but now you can, because they're not going to receive any damage in return. So that's really interesting. The other thing I really liked, so your first like healer character, again, typically, you'll get a healer character, and that's all they do, right? They can heal your units, and you've got to protect them at all costs. If you lose them, you're probably fucked. Whereas this is like, okay, you've got a healer, but they're also sort of like a tank as well, but only when using their ability that lets them defend your other units. And it's just an interesting wrinkle on, the typical sort of healer tank thing, in that, if that character gets hit directly, they're made of wet tissue paper, but if they're defending someone else and you've carefully placed everyone, so it's like, right, I think these 3 units are going to get attacked, so I can put this one character between them, activate their shielding thing, and then I'll be sorted. That's really interesting. And
I've used that a bunch. It's really useful.
Yeah, super useful, and feels great, doesn't it? Like when an enemy goes for a character, that character dives in, takes the hit, and then the character that was supposed to get hit fucking counterattacks. It just looks great. Like I love the little sort of cinematics every time combat takes place. Really good fun. What has bothered me, because I know a lot of reviews mentioned like, oh yeah, the story's not really a selling point this time around,
which is a shame, because in some of the others, Three Houses wasn't really good, but Awakenings was great. That was really good.
Really good story, yeah. And actual themes to it as well, like the whole, for those who haven't played Awakening, the hook of that, and this is years old now, the hook of that is that, like, there's a future timeline where everything went to shit, so people are coming back to the present to fix it, but it's all the kids so like as you're playing the game, you're forming these relationships between the characters, and depending who you get together, like 2 characters will sort of decide they're in love, and then bang, time portal opens, and their like grown adult child comes out, and they're like, hello, I'm from the future, it's fucked. And that was so good. Like such a good mechanic. Whereas, so story-wise, this one is like, I was hoping that from the comments I'd heard that there just wasn't going to be much of a story. Turns out it's still there. It's just really boring, isn't it?
Also, I kind of, for some reason, I've kind of found it quite offensive as well. Like, and what I mean by that is, this whole thing, like, you're supposed to be, what is it, as a divine dragon, right?
Dragon, yeah.
These people fawning all over you is just really irritating.
Yeah,
I found it really
what does that mean? So what do you mean you're the divine dragon?
So basically, you're so there's like a species in the game who are like basically appear as normal people, but they can also turn into dragons. I don't know if the main character can yet. I assume they will at some point.
Innit,
They've been in other Fire Emblem games. And the story is you took part in some big battle 1,000 years ago. You were wounded really badly, so you just sort of went into a deep sleep for 1,000 years. And now you've woken up with no memories.
It's like the Odin sleep.
It is like the Odin sleep.
I know that.
So you've woken up. And you don't remember anything, but there's basically, it turns out all this time you've been like protected in this like shrine, and it's sort of interesting because there's these two twins who are like, oh yeah, we're your like stewards, and we're like the 36th or whatever to do it, and it's like, oh yeah, because
it's like the start of Breath of the Wild,
a little bit like that, a little bit like that. And it's just interesting because so there were like 30 odd other people who spent their entire life waiting for you to wake up, and you didn't.
It sounds like my family at the weekend.
So it makes sense that like these two, these twins are just like, I cannot fucking believe we get to see you awake and doing something.
But they're fucking annoying.
But they are quite annoying. They are a bit annoying. Like you say,
what's annoying about them, James?
Their voices are really annoying. The way they talk is irritating. Yeah.
So like, for example, like when one of them levels up, they'll be like, "Oh, I got a bit stronger. I hope the divine dragon saw that." Or something, and you're like, all right, mate.
And it's all this like, oh, the divine dragon's looking at me, and all this, and it's just like, oh, come on.
The divine dragon ordered me to do something.
It's like a TCGS con. That's what people were like when we were walked into TCGS con.
Exactly like
James,
that,
James, try and do an impression of them if they're voice acted. What do they sound like? I want to hear from.
No, because it's all just that. Like,
yeah.
And let me think of what a
Don't
line.
say no. I say
I've got to
yeah.
Think of a line. I've got to think of a line.
Okay.
It's like. No, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, you are doing it. Come
I'm
on.
not doing it.
I want to hear it, James.
How bad it will sound.
Go on.
No, because it's just basically a child's voice, and it's awful.
Why do you think I want to hear it?
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it because I can't think of a good line.
Please.
If someone could feed me a line, I'll say it. But I can't.
Sean, what sort of
Just
line?
the divine dragon looked right at me.
Did the divine dragon look right at me?
Okay, do they fuck up the line as much as that?
It's something like that, yeah. But it's terrible.
For what they are going for, like the performances are fine. Like a lot of the characters are quite likable, but there's no story to hang them on. Really, it's there's these divine rings who each have a spirit of someone from a previous Fire Emblem game, which combat-wise is a cool mechanic, because this whole thing, you equip the rings on people, then they sort of team up with these spirits, gives them different abilities and stuff. All good. But yeah, you're getting all the divine rings because the baddies are trying to get them, and if the baddies get them, then the world ends. Like, I think yawn. It's just
I find that so silly as well. Like, we've got to collect all of them, have them in one place. Like, that sounds risky.
Yeah.
That sounds risky.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that.
I just wanted to get through all of that dialogue and just and play the combat, because the combat, like you said, was actually was engaging, because it's Fire Emblem. Of course, it's engaging and good, but it's just like that other stuff. It was really like, because the trouble is you have to kind of engage with it as well, because you need to build relationships and bonds and stuff so that it works on the battlefield. So it's not like you can just ignore that stuff, because if you do, it will be to your detriment to do so.
The bit, so after every sort of main mission, there's a thing where you can then just sort of walk around the map in third person that you just fought on, and there's like your soldiers, but then there's also, like, if it was a village, there's like residents or whatever kind of hanging around, and you can go around and talk to them, and none of them have anything interesting to say whatsoever. No. It's just the most basic, like, fucking, like, I'm glad you saved us from the monsters, or whatever.
Exactly.
But
apart from
some of them are holding items that they give you when you talk to them. So you're like, well, I better fucking talk to every one of them, because I might miss something.
But then also the creepy, like, not sexualized stuff. But do you know what I mean? Like
definitely.
Well, that's really, really weird. And like, I mean, because
we do need to get into this up, right? Because
I looked this up because there are differences between the Japanese version and
I've seen the translation differences.
What differences?
So typically, it's all an improvement. The differences, but. Yeah, so typically...
But surely that just means that they know that there was something wrong initially. Right?
Exactly. So typically Fire Emblem games involve romance between characters, and, it's never explicit, but it's clear that, like, couples are, romantically linked. Whereas this has none of that, and it turns out it's because it's all been removed for the English language release, because most of the characters are in their teens, right?
Yeah.
So it's a bit gross. What's even weirder is that there's a character early on you get introduced to who has an absolutely enormous chest, and the camera fucking looks at it before then panning up to her face. That character, Dave, do you want to guess who she is? She's your mum.
Okay.
So...
And also your character's kind of like weird about it, isn't he? Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah, he's weird about it because he's been sleeping for 1,000 years.
And he doesn't actually
and suddenly
know at first,
this incredibly kind of busty, attractive woman's like, oh my god, the divine dragon's here, and he's like, okay.
Yeah.
And then
it's like, I'm your mother. Oh,
and he's like,
okay.
And then Zoe's like,
and that's what the other thing that's weird is, because you I'm like 4 or 5 hours in, so I've now met there's like a prince and a princess from like one of the other nations, and it's like, oh, here's our mum, the queen. It's like, she just looks the same age, she's just got a massive chest again. Like, what the fuck?
But also, I mean, I was looking up to see, apparently there's one young character that, like, advances on, like, your character, like, it's like there's trying to be like a romance, like, going on here. And the thing they changed, allegedly, I don't know if this is true because I've not got to this yet, is they changed it so that your main character just says, "Oh, you should wait. I'll wait until you grow up first." That's the that's.
Oh God!
I mean, what's
what
that?
the fuck is that fascination? Like with games like this and like young girls. Like we've spoken about it before, right? I mean, Genshin Impact was a game that I sort of spotted some of the marketing material and went, this is weird.
This is exactly that. It's extremely
worse,
anime.
This is
Extremely
worse.
anime.
I would say,
Yeah. I mean,
What
we
is
had
that?
this weird
Not
weirdness
like
with
a thing.
Xenoblade as well.
What? Why is this like not?
But you
what
see,
the
that's
fuck?
what's really what's
The law is
like
very
you said-
different.
Like you said earlier on,
Japan.
though, what's kind of weird about this though is that they know that this is not okay.
Yeah.
Like
Of course
in the
they
rest
do,
of the
otherwise
world.
it's
What's so
change it.
strange?
That's
is
why
the
they change it.
The usual tactic is to just age all the characters up because we spotted this in Xenoblade.
Yeah, with
didn't we,
Xenoblade.
James?
Yeah.
We're talking about this. So there's I was looking at like character bios in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and there's basically like a mother and daughter, and according to the ages given, the kid was born when the mum was like 14. And it's like, right, that's because someone's looked at the age of the child and gone, oh, well, we can't have her be like 12. Let's make her 17. And then forgot to change the mum's age. So they're like 14-year-olds can give birth. I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's just, you can see what they've done there. Because that's generally how they tackle these things. You go, oh, fuck, this says his character's 13. Let's just say they're 20. Like, but they haven't done that here. They've just taken out the romance stuff. It's just very odd.
It's like, when people say about culture and stuff, but we've just been for a World Cup where there was a lot of questions being asked about whether culture is an acceptable standpoint against things like human rights issues and stuff. This is not really spoken about enough, right?
Yeah.
James?
Yeah.
James, you're on mute, mate.
James, you're on mute.
Sorry.
But do you know what I mean? Like it is kind of overlooked. Like it's not. It's and maybe not brushed under the carpet. Maybe I'm just not aware of where people really sort of highlight it as a big problem.
I mean, it's been highlighted on Twitter this week with all this stuff, but obviously it's not in the marketing for obvious reasons.
No, obviously no.
But everyone's talking about it that I've seen.
Okay,
mean,
so
yeah, like,
maybe
don't get
we
me
are
wrong,
getting
like,
to
it
the point where
doesn't-
these issues are being discussed now.
Like, it doesn't really... Like, I don't care if there's no romance in the game, right? It doesn't hurt the game for me. Like, I quite like, just the characters becoming mates. I think that's really valuable. Like, from a storytelling perspective and also from a gameplay perspective, I think that's cool. Like, I'm not upset that people aren't shagging at the end of getting their friendship to the highest rank. Do you know what I mean? But it is just the way it's come about in this game in particular it just feels a little bit icky, to say the least.
Especially, I mean, I was just surprised by like the visual design of some of these characters because
they're not subtle, are they?
No, and that's the thing. Because Three Houses, as I recall, wasn't this bad.
No,
like it wasn't this bad, and it feels like they've full on gone for it this time. And it's like, I don't know, it's not so great.
Yeah, bit weird. But putting all that aside, if you are able to, not saying you necessarily should, as a strategy game, it is fucking brilliant. Like like we were saying, the story's a bit annoying and stuff. I am happily whenever I go back to the world map, if there's these additional sort of skirmish battles will appear, right? Where it's like, oh, just a village is being attacked, you can go and fight some more guys. I'm doing every single one of those because I fucking love just the intricacies of the combat and stuff. That stuff is amazing. If they weren't going to write a good story, I just wish they just hadn't included one at all, really.
But this is what I'm still surprised by, though, because it's like, as I said, like Awakenings and stuff like that, and even Three Kingdoms. There's a thing there. Three Houses, sorry. It's like for me, I want there to be a reason why you want to build those relationships with other people.
Yeah.
I don't want it to just be a chore, just something I've got to do just so that it makes the combat more interesting. That's what was great about Fire Emblem was that there was the two sides to it.
And I can't imagine. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully, I am. But Three Houses had an amazing rug pull story wise halfway through, which I still think is fucking brilliant the way that plays out. I can't see this doing the same. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The story's so basic. I kind of think there's got to be something. There has to be.
Well,
this can't be.
Yeah, true.
But maybe I was expecting too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, like 3 or so hours. I'm just basically done. I'm just done like the mission after you get to the home base, basically, whatever that is. Yeah, I think it looks gorgeous as well. I think it's really, really impressive, like graphically.
Nice.
I mean, it's incredibly anime, but I love what they've done, like visually. I think it looks so striking. Great use of color. I think I think when you get to like to explore around the areas after a battle, it just feels kind of pointless. The landscapes are so basic. I'm just like I'm essentially going around by looking at the map, saying what's on the map.
Well, because it's sort of so like as you're playing it, you're looking at you've got this top-down view of the area, and then when like a bit of combat happens, it's like swoops in, and then you're looking at this more detailed version of the environment, but it's not. You're still not meant. It's not designed to be looked at for more than 4 or 5 seconds at a time. So so when you're like, oh cool, I can explore. Oh, actually, this doesn't stand up to much.
No,
and scrutiny.
It's kind of pointless.
Yeah. I do still love
their one-line dialogue.
Yeah.
Then you go to you leave basically.
Yeah, and the dialogue is always like, oh, thanks for showing up. Oh, I think
it's
I got
like
stronger
you're
in that
brilliant,
battle.
Divine Dragon. I love you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's terrible. I hate that.
Yeah, it's not great.
Also, like, what is the point when you start a new mission? It's like mission, kill enemies, avoid dying to enemies. It's like they're always
the objectives will get more specific.
I got a professional at the beginning. It's just like objective.
Don't
die. You lose if you die.
Well, I mean, we should also talk about, because we're all playing this on like different difficulty settings, aren't we? Because again, for people who don't know the series, so you've got your normal, hard, nightmare, whatever it is. That dictates how difficult the combat is and how ruthless the AI is. But then there is also casual and classic mode, which is basically classic mode is that when one of your units falls in combat, they are gone forever. I don't do that. So I play on hard, but I play on casual.
Same here. That's why I'm playing it.
Yeah, which to me feels right. But I know, James, you've gone normal classic, haven't you?
Yeah, I've gone normal classic. Yeah,
which is perfectly valid.
Because the thing is it creates a different dynamic. Because like if you play it on hard, then obviously you have that tactical challenge of that. But when you're playing it on classic mode, you're having to make different decisions because of the fact that you know that this could be the end for characters that maybe you care about.
My thing is that my understanding is that the older Fire Emblem games, it was like when a character fell in combat, they died and were out of the story, and the story would change accordingly. Whereas things like from Awakening onwards, they were like, oh well, we can't be arsed rewriting the story, so they're wounded, so they can't be in fights anymore, but they're still around.
Or it's like, here's another character who looks quite
the same. So to me, to me that loses the interest of the impact of actually losing a unit. And when I played Awakening, which was my first proper Fire Emblem game, I was just restarting battles constantly. Because oh fuck, I've lost that person. I'm going to go back. I mean, they've mitigated that somewhat here, haven't they? Because you get this time crystal, which lets you just rewind combat to whatever point you like, which is good. I think that's a good addition.
I put mine on hard because I was like, okay, what do I do? I played Three Houses for like 5 hours and stopped. But I thought, I think when you sent us, Sean, that link to like a GameSpot preview, like I'm saying, playing hard's probably the best way.
Yeah.
Also, you can change the difficulty down but not up. So I was like, well, I might as well start hard.
Yeah.
And then go down. But I'll be able to change it from casual to classic. I assume that is now locked in.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's still in your best interest to not lose units during combat. Like it can still, it can make the difference between winning or losing, like losing one particular unit at the wrong time. So it's not like you're just like, fuck it, it doesn't matter if people die. Like it's still a massive thing to consider. It's just like, say you're at towards the end of a battle and you've basically already won, and you just make one slightly careless decision and someone gets killed. You're not like, well shit, I've got to go back and undo that. It's you just like, well, it doesn't really matter at this point. It just gives you a bit of leeway, which I'm all right with. But I think it's really cool that you get that flexibility in how you play it. So yeah.
No, but it's great so far. I'm excited to play a new game, and I want to stick with more. I don't know why I stopped playing Three Houses. I'm not sure something else came out. I mean,
I
was
thought
actually
you finished
enjoying
that.
What's that say?
I thought you'd finished Three Houses.
No, I actually enjoyed all the school stuff, and I know like they said, okay, this one doesn't have all that, and it's a lot more pared down in that regard. But I quite enjoyed that when I was playing Three Houses, but
totally.
not for whatever reason. And I get the impression this is kind of reviewed not as well as Three Houses, but
yeah, broadly speaking, I think that's about
but then
right.
a lot of people didn't like Three Houses either, particularly the visual style and stuff. And people were like, "Oh, this is great! It's gone back to how it used to look and all that." And it's
one of those series, isn't it, where you're never going to please everyone at this point. It's sort of shifted slightly over time, and some people would rather it just was basically like the GBA ones, and you know. So yeah, it's always going to upset some people. But
and the other thing I still feel slightly sad with this is that it still feels like Advance Wars has been like sacrificed for Fire Emblem. Like now, like they don't make new Advance Wars anymore. Then we had that one that was supposed to come out that is now I don't think it's ever going to come out. I think that's never going to be re-released.
And even that was only a remake, wasn't it? It's like, no sign of an actual sequel.
And it's just a shame because these are good. These are really good games, and I do enjoy them. But that I still think the Advance Wars is superior.
Well, yeah, it's the same as like there is nothing wrong with us still getting more Mario Kart 8, but like, where's F-Zero, guys? Come on.
yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it probably sounds like we've really shat on that game. It was not my intention. I do really like it, but
it just sounds like an initial sort of disappointment, right?
Sorry, Matt, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, I think we're all really enjoying it. It's just that it's easy to kind of pick at the issues that there is, but I mean, it's not stopping my enjoyment. I mean, I don't mind all the anime stuff. It is what it is. That's the style I've chosen to go with. I'm enjoying it so far.
Cool.
Okay. Well, that's what we've been playing this week. So not much, but we've got plenty of questions to go through.
Got loads of questions.
So let's get on to the questions.
Good.
Next week we'll have Forspoken to hear about, so that's going to be big.
I'm not even going to play anything next week. I just want half an hour on Forspoken. It's going to be amazing.
Half an hour, longer than that.
If for some reason you would like to send us a question, go to tcgs.co/dear TCGS. Kurt Lewin says, "Hi chaps, what would you predict each of your 2023 Game of the Year will be? Something we know about already, or does nothing excite you enough that you actually think it would be something we don't know about yet?"
I mean, how many times has it been a game that we had no idea about until...
I mean, I think that's the obvious choice, isn't it? That it is going to be something we don't know about yet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We do like
I don't think it's going to be Breath of the Wild.
And he goes on to say, Tears of the Kingdom would be the obvious choice, but there's always the chance it might not meet the lofty expectations set by Breath of the Wild, and the Zelda series has been prone to having entries which aren't as well loved as others.
See, I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to be a really good game, but I think people are going to spend the whole time fucking moaning about the performance.
See, I think it's going to be really disappointing.
I was wondering if I'm going to buy it, obviously, so don't start, but am I going to also download it and run it on the Steam Deck if the performance is shit on the Switch?
At least you got that option.
Yeah, tempting.
Seriously, there's going to be think pieces, there's going to be constant YouTube videos.
Switch? Where's the Switch?
Yeah, but that's. I mean, it's no surprise, right? It's Breath of the Wild's considered by a lot of people to be one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, and it's still very good though. Like you can still play that, and it's still very good. I know it's still technically it's not completely smooth and everything, but it's still good enough to be like a game of the year. Do you see what I mean?
But I do think we've come a long way since that game come out, and there's the improvements you'd want to see with a Breath of the Wild sequel. I don't think is going to be possible because they're releasing it on the Switch.
Yeah,
I think that's an acceptable.
But this one won't be a Wii U port.
That's
which
true.
might count for something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. But then Mario Odyssey had performance issues. The Luncheon Kingdom.
I don't
There's
remember.
occasional slowdown, like really occasional.
That's performance issues, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's not like I know. But when you hear performance issues, I think like complete disaster. Like it's unplayable.
You think the new Pokemon game?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's saying it's unplayable. No one's saying that Breath of the Wild's unplayable. This is not. But
I do think there are. I think if you were to release that now, in like with the performance it had back then, I think people would kick off more about like the forest bit and stuff.
We're in a world now where we're playing games that when they drop to 60, when they drop to 30, you get the ump.
We are, but the majority of people that own Switches are not.
I know,
and
but
they
I'm
don't
not.
care.
But I'm not giving their perspective, mate. I'm giving my perspective when I play this game.
I know, but I just don't. I don't want the game to be judged fully just on technical problems or something like that. Like I'm hoping it's going to be an engaging,
why not?
like experience.
If that ruins the experience, then
If it ruins,
that's
that's
what
what I'm
it
saying.
will.
If it ruins the experience, sure, like I totally agree. But if it's similar in performance to Breath of the Wild, I wouldn't see that as being a complete disaster.
No, I wouldn't see it as being a complete disaster, but it'd be fucking disappointing, right?
But it would be surprising.
No, but it's
think...
not about it being surprising, James. I don't want to look.
What are you expecting? You expecting it's going to run like amazingly, like compared with Breath of the Wild?
But okay, whether I expect it or not, it's still a problem if it's not running brilliantly, right?
I'm not saying it's not a problem. I'm just saying that I'm not looking forward
to people
everyone
highlighting
just going
the issue
on about it, like because that's all people are going to talk about.
I see James's point. It's not that it's not valid. It's just like the least interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah,
that game,
exactly.
Right? There are so many other. Like, for all the amazing, beautiful things Breath of the Wild did and the weight that puts on the sequel, I think there are just much more interesting things to talk about than does the frame rate dip occasionally. But it'll be really bad. Maybe it will be like an actual technical mess. Who knows? I don't know.
And if it is, then fair enough. It deserves to be
Breath of the Wild. If the Breath of the Wild come out today, I think there would be more of a focus on the technical issues.
Yeah.
And the limitations of the Switch. Yeah. And it could be argued to say, well, they've learned more about the hardware. They'll know how to make games better for that system, which is absolutely true.
Sean said it's not a port as well.
You're also looking to try and leap above what the previous game did, and I don't know how possible that's going to be. I don't know how possible that's going to be on the current hardware. Like, I would prefer this to be a launch game on the next system.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, how did it was Majora's Mask, wasn't it? Was like that came after Ocarina. So I'm getting a lot of similarities of that.
Well,
that required the expansion pack on the N64.
Oh, that's
right. To play that.
Why you get what's the similarities again?
It's just trying to follow that game, and I think this will have a similar kind of vibe and similar maybe critical response as well. Like some people loved it, others not so much.
I was going to say
I don't get that. I don't get that from the material that we've seen because Breath of the
Majora's Mask was weird.
Majora's Mask
in the best way.
Bizarre.
In the best way, it was brilliant. But
imagine if they announced Breath of the Wild, but it's the whole thing's underground, where with this real oppressive, and a completely different concept. Where
because that very first trailer we saw of Tears of the Kingdom before we knew it was called that really looked like it was going for a Majora's Mask thing, whereas the stuff we've seen since seems a lot more touched that airy. At all.
Yeah. You see, because Majora's Mask was. I mean, what a bizarre and interesting way to follow up Ocarina of Time, and I never really played it, but even the concept, you're going, it's a time loop game, is it?
Yeah.
It is a time loop game, that one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
And you just think...
I mean, you get control over that, but it's it is a time loop game, though, yeah.
And you go, what fucking weird thing to follow up Ocarina of Time with?
Because wasn't it, I can't remember if this was like an urban myth or if it was true, wasn't it basically they were tasked with doing a sequel to Ocarina of Time, but without really having to make much new stuff?
Yeah, that's right. It was supposed to be like a side story kind of thing, and then it became
assets and stuff.
Yeah. It was Silk Song, if you like, but
Whereas I think the stuff that I've seen of the stuff that I've seen of this game, of Tears of the Kingdom, it does seem very how do I put it? It seems a lot more in line with Breath of the Wild than Majora's Mask did with Ocarina of Time. I mean, look, it could come out and it's perfect and brilliant because that's what I hope it is. Because I could play a Breath of the Wild again. I think the technical issues is a genuine concern, James. I think it's okay. I'm not
saying it's not a concern. I'm just saying I don't want to read all those things where people just
don't read it. Then
I know, but it's just annoying, isn't it? The constant back chatter of it's just annoying.
The discourse.
We get that now. on these games. It's going to be like, it's going to go, it's going to be crazy when there's like a Zelda sequel which has all that. I mean, we get it now for like, okay, where should you play Cult of the Lamb? Don't play on Switch. Performance issues, this, that, and the other. So imagine out like a whole new.
Do you know what that sounds though? Like it sounds like, James, is that you're going, oh yeah, it's gonna have problems, but let's not talk about it because I like Zelda. Like that's how it sounds like.
That's completely not what I'm saying.
No,
I'm just saying I don't want the whole discourse of the game to be around that unless it's justified that it is around that. I don't get to decide that, but I can still be irritated by it, David. I am allowed to be irritated,
Oh, really? It's not like you. You irritated about something, do you?
I'll do those eyes thing in a minute.
Oh, wait, you like the eyes emoji? Okay, all right. Well, that's
but regardless, like that's still easily. I mean, that and like the new, the Final Fantasy VII remake sequel. They're one of my most anticipated games of the year by far.
Mm-hmm. Fair.
So I have not. I'm not even consider. I can't see Tears of the Kingdom being up there with my game of the year. I think it's either going to be something that I've not heard of because indie games come out of nowhere and they're amazing, or I think Starfield might actually blow my bleeding socks off.
I really hope you're right.
That would be amazing.
I reckon this might be like a Dragon's Year. This is going to be the I'm going to get it through Game of the Year.
It's going to be
inching.
What do you mean? What, the Yakuza thing?
Yeah, there's another one that's coming out. Like,
is there?
That's this. It's that game's year.
If it comes out this year, Silk Song is nailed on for me, I think. But I mean, who fucking
knows?
Not
going to come out. It's just
gotta be this year, surely.
It's disappeared.
Are we getting a Yoku's Island Express 2 or what?
That's the point, because that's a fucking good game.
Why hasn't that come out yet?
And why doesn't it keep getting... Whenever people talk about the best Metroidvanias, it should be on that fucking list.
Yeah, it's never included, is it?
So good. I was going to tell you, I went back to it a few months back.
No?
Because I remembered that I played most of it during Isaac Year 1, most of which I don't remember. Right. So it was basically like playing it for the first time again. It's fucking brilliant.
Oh, it's so cool.
Good.
The intrigue of going deep down underground in that game was just so fucking wicked. And then it throws all that random stuff, like that room with the lights, and you don't know what they relate to. It's such a good game. The music.
Yep. So good.
I've just looked through some games like this year. Sean, are you sure the Expanse or Telltale series isn't going to be up there for you?
Oh, yeah, no, I am excited about that. I mean, it could go either way.
Plucky Squire. Good shout from Scientologists in the chat. I'd forgotten about Plucky Squire. That was an amazing trailer, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That's got a good shout.
I mean, Armored Core, obviously, I'm really excited about. I don't think I'm going to be winning Game of the Year with that.
You never know.
But we'll see.
Never know.
Anyway, let's move on. Alex79. Oh, go on.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
Alex79 says, hello, lads. I've been listening to some of the old Play Radio Joypod shows recently after Capone sent a link on Twitter. And they're a really interesting little time capsule of what was happening in gaming at the time. But the funniest thing about them are the people who phone into the show, sometimes sensible callers, but more often than not, absolute nonsense. I wonder if this is something that could occasionally be incorporated into the current TCGS format. Not sure how it would work these days, but it could be excellent.
Well, I've spoken a couple of times. I don't know if I've spoken to you guys about it. I'm pretty sure I've spoken to Sean about it, about doing...
Yeah, taking calls.
Taking calls on as a stream, doing a stream of it. Because I don't think it'll work as the podcast, right? The podcast. And people that appreciate the podcast as it is will get irritated if we're getting phone calls going...
It's funny, isn't it? We're so set in the routine now that it would feel really weird to just be like, here's a new feature, by the way. And I think a lot of people would be like, no,
I mean,
just
I wouldn't write that out. I wouldn't write
week.
out, but accepting calls is quite a big step, you know. Whereas, so I've been thinking maybe just do like a games call-in show on Twitch once a week.
Yeah.
Just for an hour or something where people could Skype in and either ask questions or kick off or something.
I was going to, because my other worry is that because we're so fucking famous now.
Yeah,
I do think there is a risk that people would come on just to act the cunt, and because we know from the feedback form there are people who fucking despise us and yet apparently listen every week. So the worry of that, of like someone coming on to just start shouting racist abuse or something.
Yeah, but that's what happens. That's part of it.
Yeah, I guess, but it's just
What can you do?
gross, isn't it?
That's
Also,
part of it. I
not
mean,
sure.
we had calls like that on Play Radio.
Did you?
Yeah, sorry about that, Dave.
They just ring up and swear at us or say they'll be. It's just whatever. Just okay. I mean, it happens. You just block and move on. But so if we're going
the
to
reason
do
they
it,
do it on a form, Sean, is that they can be totally anonymous. That's why I do it. They're
Yes.
not the same people that are going to ring up saying, "Hey, I'm."
That's true.
No,
yeah,
they will.
I'm
No, they
giving them too much
absolutely will
credit
be.
by assuming they'd actually put their voice out there.
they
and,
absolutely would put their voice out there.
Do you reckon?
It's to try and get a reaction. It's
Or they
just-
use like an
Yeah.
original Xbox voice
Yeah,
for
voice
it.
changer, yeah,
Smack.
never identified.
the Dark Master. I don't know, man. It's an idea that I've had for ages, and I've never done anything with it. So there's no reason why I would suddenly start doing it now. But it's on the back of my mind. I just don't think it will work on the main show, to be honest.
No, I think you're right. Chip Magnet says, hello, everybody. I've never been into the football. I was crap at it at school. Never really been interested in watching it. Have zero affinity for any team, global, national or local. I feel absolutely nothing when England get knocked out or win any kind of football competition. So, of course,
End of email.
So, of course, my 5-year-old son is showing a keen interest in getting into football. Lucky me. I will always support my kids in anything they want to do, short of certain serious crimes, etc., obviously.
Right.
But I've come unstuck here. He now wants me to pick up a football game for either the Switch or the PS4. I've played FIFA back on the SNES and have a distant memory of borrowing PES from a friend, possibly on PlayStation 1 or 2. I think I spent most of my time in the Team Creator. I recall making a team called Team 23, made entirely of identical bald grey-skinned clones. This has left me well out of touch when it comes to football games. Seems to recall a consensus that eFootball is a bit Todd, and then the Mario one was also not great. What are our options? FIFA? Any advice would be greatly received.
Yeah, get FIFA.
You have no options. It's basically FIFA on PS4.
No, get FIFA. I mean, look, FIFA's got an amazing way of, it really does sort of cater to younger players. I mean, 5 years old, probably a little bit too old for 2-button configuration, but if they don't play many video games, then the idea that there's a 2-button option in there, that you don't have to worry about the run button or the chip or different types of shots or anything like that. You've got a pass button and a shoot button. It does what it wants. And it's so versatile in terms of difficulty. Harry likes playing games where he whacks them down to the easiest setting and battering them 26-0 because we did that. So,
that's basically what I did on my streams, isn't it?
Just going, no, put the difficulty settings up, Harry, because you'll have a more realistic scoreline of it. And then I thought, when I was his age, we would fuck around with the stats so that we won 75-0 or whatever. It's just what you do as a kid. That's all you want to do. FIFA caters to all that. And really, honestly, Joe's thinking about getting them FIFA on the Switch, which we all know is nonsense. Yeah, we all know it's nonsense. But he will adore it. So FIFA, he can play it on his handheld throughout the day, and not take over the TV with it,
Yeah.
So, and then I kind of thought, initially, I did the same thing, James. I was like, no, what? The legacy?
Yeah, because
No.
it's like, what version is it now?
It's like 90. It says
It's
like it's
like-
1994.
Yeah, it's not been updated for ages. But as you said, it doesn't matter.
But
It's,
he's 8, 9.
Yeah.
He don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't give a shit about the engine that it uses. As long as the players' names are correct, then all good. PS4. I was about to say, I think one of them's on Game Pass, so that would be a good starting point. But you're talking PS4 or Switch.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, the Mario Strikers. It's we didn't get on with it, but the kids still had a blast with it. And eFootball, I would just avoid because, even taking away how we don't like that game, I mean, the menus are nonsense enough to be a massive barrier for any child to play. So,
do you know what? I wish I'd done a prediction this year that FIFA would have ended up partnering with eFootball. I wish I'd done that as a thing because I could really see that happening. I think it'd be hilarious.
What are they going to call the EA Sports? Have I already asked this on the show?
Yeah, it's EA Sports Football Club.
But what are they going to call it on the Switch? They can't call it Legacy
Oh, that's
Edition.
true. Yeah, because there is no legacy.
Yeah.
There's no legacy for that
nice.
game.
Shit edition.
They will. They'll still call it Legacy Edition, and
They
it'll
will,
actually be
yeah,
FIFA
yeah.
19 or
And
whatever.
then in the back it will say this is like another football game that we are not allowed to reference in our marketing material. Okay.
Next question comes from someone who
Oh, yeah.
asks, James or PS5?
Oh, that's tough.
Good
I
question.
PS5's got more games.
James is better looking.
Yeah.
Not recently.
I don't
Less
know,
reliable.
I don't know
though.
where
Less
I put
reliable.
a PS5, but I know where I put James in my living room. Don't know what that means.
Yeah, James is funnier than PlayStation 5, definitely.
Yes.
It's not a funny console.
It's not a funny console.
I don't
though.
have any use for a PS5, whereas my weekly meetings with James doing the show is more
He's a
worthwhile
money
to
maker,
me.
isn't he? He's a money
he's
maker,
cash
Sean.
cow. He's free and
Yes.
he makes money, whereas a PS5, 500 quid, and then what about the energy bills?
Good
Do you know
point.
what I mean?
Don't think about
So I'm gonna stick with James.
James is wiping a tear from his eye as we're saying this. I think he's actually quite touched
No one's ever been this
that we've
kind.
picked James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all you got for us there, James. A whole
my
segment
eyes-
on
my
you
eyes-
and your game.
James, would you rather
Yeah.
be a PS5?
Yeah, would you rather be you
How
or
would that work?
PlayStation?
I'd rather be an Xbox Series X.
There you go.
Oh.
Great console.
It looks better.
What?
It looks better than the PS5. I think.
Okay.
Doesn't take much.
All
though, does it?
right.
Uh,
No content.
Ubis84 says James has more fans. That is true.
MD Krabuffs says, are you going to try out something new this year?
No.
I don't think I am.
I bet we're going to try cheering the fuck up a bit. So
I
hopefully
mean, I
this
think
year
after
I'm
the
gonna-
year you've had, I think you've done remarkably well.
Yeah,
in
but I
terms
was
of-
like, kind of like, okay, come on. Let's get out of this hole a little bit and be a little
Yeah,
bit
I
happier
suppose.
now, eh?
Yeah.
Which is not the best thing to say or the most helpful thing to say, but I am sitting here just thinking, okay,
That's
let's
your
come
new
on.
thing. The new thing you're trying is crawling out of the hole. That's good. Onwards and upwards, mate. It's going to be...
Let's go. I'm going to do the emoji with the flexing the muscle emoji. Come on. Let's take on this week.
I mean, I
yeah.
don't know if this. I mean, I think loads of people doing this. I think I'm like completely binning social media off my phone.
It's good. It feels good, man.
It does. I've taken Twitter off, and now I'm just spending more time on Instagram. So I think that's going next.
Well,
Instagram's nicer anyway.
Twitter's no, Instagram's full of shit. Like, I hate Instagram. Oh, look at how great my life is, but it's not though, is it?
No, I
Yeah,
do
but
like
we get-
Instagram. I'm just aware that like the time wasting hasn't decreased. Like
Right.
I think I already feel better because Instagram
Yeah.
doesn't hurt my brain the way Twitter does. But I'm still wasting. Like I'm
But
just
Twitter is
procrastinating on the phone.
actively getting you to. It's like I dare you to remove me. With this the fucking tabs are back again.
Oh well,
That's
because
my
I
nutting.
haven't had the app on my phone for years. I've just had it logged in like on the web version, which is even worse.
Yeah.
So I've just logged out of that. And,
I don't mind tabs actually. I want them to change the order because I hate the fact that the for you is the default one. But because I don't follow that many people, that's like, oh, here's what's actually the rest of Twitter's talking about. Scroll that for a bit.
See, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, I, don't
I
give a
only want to
fuck
see
what
who's
the
on my
rest of
list.
Twitter's
I
talking
don't
about.
care.
There's often stuff I've like missed out on rather than my own timelines. Oh yeah,
My
must-
favourite thing was deleting everyone and then just following Millwall players because, like, I've changed. I follow a lot more people now, but initially when I just had Millwall players on my list, it was hilarious because everyone was talking about, everyone's talking about it on Twitter. I load mine up and it was like, sorry about the result this week. Onwards and upwards. Another game. We'll come back stronger. It's like, well, these guys seem happy. I mean, they've apologised for their poor
This is a lot better.
performance, but they didn't come back stronger. They didn't come back stronger.
I feel like the ideal, because like like Matt says, I wouldn't want to like lose touch, right? Which I don't think I would because obviously
With
get
who?
links. No, I mean like in terms of like news and stuff.
Oh right.
But I think I would get enough of that from friends anyway. And what I would also like is
The
just
TV
like
show.
so on like the iPad, just have like an RSS reader set up with some good games websites, and then in the evening just read it like a newspaper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have 20 minutes, sift through the day's events,
Yeah,
fuck it
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, and I mean, I'm solely focusing on the stuff that I hate about Twitter. Obviously, there's like loads of funny sketches or jokes or something that I get off there that I really love. So yeah, it's not all bad. It's just majoritively bad. Majoritively bad. Yeah.
I think I'm trying out new. I mean, it's a bit of a cheek. So I started last year, but I'm going snowboarding this year.
Oh,
so I'm
yeah,
excited.
Yeah, how's that going? Is that going well, or is it? Are you regretting
This is definitely a story for the bonus show, but it
Okay.
started off incredibly badly. Probably one of the most emotionally destroying days of my life.
Really that bad? Oh,
Yeah, but it's fine now. I've done a lot more, and I'm a bit more on top of it.
cool, good.
Yeah, so I'm doing that. I'm looking forward to that.
Michael says, "Need to know your preferred type of underwear, lads. Not being weird."
I've
You
got a
are
good
being
answer
weird.
for this.
You can't just say not being weird at the end of that sentence. You are
can't
being
just declare that.
Yeah.
It's self-evident
No,
that you are being weird.
I'm normal. I like tight ones.
tight
You
boxes.
know the trunks.
Yeah,
They're like trunks.
Yeah.
Not the speedos.
No.
They're
They've
like-
got a leg on them. Yeah.
Yeah,
All I
they got
heard
the
was,
leg
I
on
like
them.
tight, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, really tight.
Yeah.
Like if it could just be there.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to be elsewhere, James.
If I can
I've never understood those. You know those sort of like checked ones with a slot in the middle. You know, like the loose ones.
Yeah.
I just think they look all.
I'm pretty sure that's what James wears. Is it not?
It's not actually.
Okay.
No, it's just regular boxes, isn't it?
Okay.
How do
They're
people
not
sit down on a
enormous.
bus with those though? Because surely they're just sitting on their own bollocks all day
Yeah,
long,
it's
aren't they?
just mushing around.
I've actually got a good answer for this because at Christmas, Jill bought me some new underwear. They're called Just Wears. I think they're actually on Dragon's Den,
All right.
and they've got like a little pouch, and like the box describes it as you be able to. I mean, this might go into too much graphic detail.
Go for it.
What
be
the
able to
fuck?
Be able to separate your plums from your banana, basically.
Nice.
And it's like, honestly, it's like so comfy. It's really nice. I'm like,
What? There's like two pockets, one for your bollocks and one for your todger.
No, because the main thing you're wearing is for your bollocks, and then your banana goes in the slot. Oh my god, it's so comfy. All other pants are ruined for me
Sounds
now.
too complicated for underwear.
This sounds
You just
ridiculous.
put your dick in the slot. It's not complicated at all. It honestly, I
got a big
can't
enough
put my
slot
job,
for
but they're
James,
quite
though, 'cause
expensive.
I was gonna.
Yeah,
I was going to say I don't think I'd have much use for the slot, to be honest.
No, they're so comfy. I'd massively
It's like
recommend them.
putting on a glove where you'd be like, hold on. You just adjust it. You know when you put
Poking
the
it
glove
through.
and then two fingers go in one of the finger holes and you're like, oh, hold on, I'll just pull it back out again.
Yeah, I'd recommend them. Yeah, they're called Just Wears.
I'm going to counteract that with another specific recommendation. I'm a step one man.
Step one?
Step
What
one.
does step one do?
Step one. The boxes. So they have like a front pouch, but not specifically for your dick, just for the general area.
For your change.
But they're
change
always.
when you get to when you buy it for the newsagent. Just pop a pound coin in. Excuse me, why are you taking your trousers off? I just got to put my change away. Hold on, mate. I need a pound coin for the trolley. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm looking at these things now. Okay.
It just got a 3D comfort pouch as well. I bet.
Yeah. So yeah, they're super comfy. I also find them really useful because maybe TMI. I've got big thighs, lads, and it's a problem. My boxers just get shredded. I get chafing. It's bad. Step one's not an issue.
Oh, nice.
Lovely
Did you
stuff.
get the Union Jack step one ones?
Is it the Union Jack ones? That's a discount.
Oh yeah, boy.
What's a lot of
Only got those.
So I signed up. I don't know if I spoke about this, but I signed up to On That Ass, which you must have seen the adverts for, and they were all right.
They're okay.
Decent enough pants,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I got 3 pair, and then I thought, do you know what? I like these. I'll take another couple of pairs. But they did this thing. I've never heard this from a subscription service. So
what's this thing called? On That Ass?
On that
Yeah.
ass. Yeah.
On That Ass. And then they just do like, you subscribe monthly and they send you a new pair every month, right? It's like a surprise design every month. And I tried, I got a couple of them and I went, right, I'm done now. So I did it and they went, yep, you'll be charged again at the end of this month and get one more pair.
Wow.
I'm like, well, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And they went,
Cancelling
well,
now.
sorry, you need to give us a
Need
1
your
month's notice to
money.
cat.
Yeah.
And I went, why are you doing this? Like,
That
I
is
was
weird.
about to recommend you, but
Well, no, because
and I'm me.
I was subscribed to them for quite a while, and then it just felt like they had this weird phase where it was like every month that it was like, which culture shall we appropriate now?
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah, there
it was
was like
really weird.
here's the Mexican
Yeah,
one.
there was like
Yeah,
Mexican one,
yeah,
there was like
I
an
had that.
African one. It was just like, wow, okay, this is feeling really uncomfortable about this now.
I didn't
but-
feel uncomfortable about that. I just thought, don't charge me an extra month for no reason.
I mean, I
you
think they
fucks.
haven't done that for a while. I think they've had other ideas since.
Really?
But,
How long ago did you do it?
I mean, you're going years back now.
Right. Okay. So I'm talking like last year I
Yeah,
did
yeah,
this.
yeah.
So and they were doing that shit.
Oh, right,
so
okay. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
maybe it's like new to it. About it's fucking
Yeah.
weird.
But yeah, I mean, since I was converted to step ones, I have thrown out all my other underwear because it just feels like fucking sandpaper in comparison.
Yeah,
£20 a pair of pants though.
This one,
Yeah, but not if you buy loads of them, Dave. That sounds.
All right. James,
20 pairs and
Fonz?
Klarna it. It's fine.
Fong, James.
Fun
All
for
the time.
James, yep.
Fong.
Yeah.
The old banana hammock.
Okay.
Cool. Next question.
I-
Last
James
question.
exclusively wears those novelty reindeer ones, you know, that you used to get where you press the button at
Regardless
the
of the
end.
time
and
of
they
year.
I was actually a pair of long johns with the flap on the back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the-
I mean, hang on. Cost of living crisis. Not wrong with a pair of long johns.
yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Discord's own Steve, last question, says, I thought I would tap into your expertise for some help. My partner and I are currently trying to get pregnant, and we read that background music might just do the trick. While
Yep.
sex and gaming are my two biggest passions, the only musical piece I could think of to set the mood was Donkey Kong Country's Aquatic Ambience. Appreciate you all and your help. I mean, that is a banger. That's a good choice.
It's good.
I can't think
It is
of many
on
other
a
games.
similar tip,
Go
you
on.
want the Dire Docks from Mario 64. That'd be very like
What's
relaxing.
Dire
and
Docs?
sort of-
I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Let's get some music up. Let's get some mood music up to hear now.
I didn't want it to be gaming related, but I was just going to say Cotton Eye Joe by Rednecks.
Ooh.
Nah, Joel. No,
Oh,
it's
I
got to be
don't think
video
I could
game.
do that.
Right,
I'd
right,
feel-
hold on. Dire Docs.
See, this is the thing. The problem with relaxing music, it's all well and good in the early stages, but when it just gets down to the...
You want to turn
Yeah,
up the heat?
yeah. When
not-
it gets down to the gross reality of it, you don't want to be hearing.
No, you've got to wait till the drums
surely,
kick in.
hold on.
Oh, that's
Wait,
true. Yeah, it picks up, doesn't
See,
it?
for me,
Yeah.
this is more appropriate. So, I would say, if we're sticking with video game stuff, surely it's this. This is more appropriate. No, that's an advert. Don't make sure you skip the adverts at the start of the music
Yeah.
before.
I hope this is what I think it is. Go on.
Yeah.
No, it's probably not. But
Okay.
imagine me standing there butt naked in the bedroom.
Oh, it's menacing, though. I don't know.
Yeah, crazy.
Maybe that's how we
Oh,
like
what?
it. But
Yeah.
I reckon this. Hang on.
Um,
It's not an advert. This
can I play? Can I play my suggestion?
Sure.
No,
Let's go. Yes. Tribes. 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 Tribes.
Oh my god.
Okay, I've got
Fucking
mine.
atrocious. Sorry, go on.
What's cool is that that's only a minute long as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
so,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you don't have to
Yeah,
turn
well,
it off
if
at
you
the end.
Like,
of
if
it.
you've ever thought maybe you've like underperformed at your job, and you're not Motley Crue doing that tribe.
Right, who's going next?
Yes.
Soccer.
It's
And then
it's positive.
that's it.
It's got a good tempo for you
Yeah.
to work with.
It's a very
Go on,
fast tempo.
We got for us, James.
Little cigarette after that.
See, it's no good now. I was gonna go for Doom 2, like oh no, was it Doom? Yeah, the
Yeah, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
What's that? What's the Yoshi's Island one? Do you remember the Yoshi's,
Which one?
do you remember the Yoshi's Island 3D music? What's the? Is it this one? Gently undressing one another.
Yeah.
A bit caressing. It's not even started yet. Ready?
I mean, that one. It's got to be that one. There you
Yeah.
I think that's the best one, actually.
This bit's actually pretty good though. This is where you're getting really down to it now.
It's picking up.
Pick it up. Listen to the rhythm. Oh, and then you just stop.
And then just stop. Well, there you go. I mean, to be fair, it might only last that long anyway. So
that
that's
as long as I
Yeah.
last. What a filthy end to the show.
Yeah, sorry,
Unbelievable.
it's all gone. With all that chat about underwear and now this.
Discord's own Steve. I think our underwear chat was great. We had actually 3 genuine recommendations there.
That's true.
Okay.
An ad.
Well, I think
we're
it's 2
done.
recommendations and a warning, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And this
don't
is-
go with the on that ass. Right. That's it for your questions. Matt, socials, please.
Yeah, so this Wednesday we're going to do a talks over our
Yeah.
first of the year, Xbox Developer _Direct. We're going to talk over that. It starts 8 p.m. GMT, so we'll be live from like 10 to 8 probably.
Thursday, is it? How long
It's
does it
Wednesday.
last?
We don't know.
Oh, Wednesday,
Wednesday.
is it? Wednesday we're doing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're doing so Wednesday live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TCGSco. Watch us talk over the Xbox Developer Directs. Hopefully it's decent and it's short and they've learned their lessons. That's live from 10 to 8.
It's going to be neither of those things, Matt.
It won't be.
Thursday, Sean is continuing. No, so last week Sean streamed Echoes the Dancer,
It
which
was
was the
well good.
audio-based card game.
Yeah, I was proper surprised. Like, I thought it'd be okay, but it was actually really good fun. Everyone in the chat seemed to enjoy it. So I've bought another one. I've now got Echoes the Cocktail. That's the next one.
Nice.
So,
So if you missed the last week's one, it's on YouTube. But yeah, if you want to watch the new one, again, that's Thursday from 9 and Friday from 9. James is going to start streaming and playing Dark Souls 3, aren't you, James?
Yes.
Cool. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday streams every night, basically. If you have Amazon Prime and a Twitch account, connect them and you get something called Twitch Prime Gaming and you get 1 free sub every month. Please go over to our channel, give us your free sub. We really appreciate it. The Patreon bonus show should be out later this week as well. We're going to record that hopefully after Developer Direct on Wednesday. And the website is tcgs.co with links to our amazing Discord community, socials, Marvel calls, podcast, Patreon, store, the lot.
Thank you so much for living it. We will catch you next week for some more video game chit chat. I hope you have a good week. Goodbye, everyone.
I'm indifferent.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye.